It's my great pleasure to introduce today's resource person, M. Balasubramanian, Assistant Professor, Center for Ecological Economics and Natural Resources, ISAC. He has done his PhD in Environmental Economics from Madurai, Kamaraj University, Madurai, and his area of specializations are natural resource economics, environmental economics and ecological economics, climate change, ecological conservation through endogenous perspectives, and sustainable development. I welcome you, sir, to this session, and on the behalf of CMDR and Anagodi Mat, sir, I'll welcome you this session, sir. Now, session is yours, sir.
Thank you, madam.
You can take the class, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. Actually, here in Isaac, there is some network issue. So I'm connecting through my mobile internet. So by the time I hope the network will come. So just now they came and inform me about the network issue. Okay, it's not a big issue. I think
Okay.
we can start now. First, I
Yes,
would
yes,
like to
sir. Yes,
thank.
sir.
Yeah. First, I would like to thank Dr. Sidhu and the CMDR for giving me this opportunity share my research experience, what I have completed, and some ongoing projects uh, regarding the climate change and economic evaluation. Some other things about the macroeconomic perspective on green national income accounting. Now they call it's very uh, fancy concept. They call actually the green domestic product. And then India, how actually started the environmental economic research and what we are doing at present at the Karnataka level and national level, some experience at the international level also. So actually, I want to share with you some of the recent development in environmental and resource economics. First, I will start with the what basic understanding between economics and environment here. So 1990s, before 1990s, the environmental economics there was less considerations. Even 1940s, they were started about the economic value of natural resources. The Michael Honeyman, he talked about the economic valuation, especially for contingent valuation method for estimating the loss of fisheries during the fishing oceans. So here actually, how the economists they understand about the environment. This actually there are four myths. Economists always actually they are looking about their benefits, whether from the production side or consumption side or export or import, etc., etc. So we know very well. I believe most of the attendee from the economics background. So I will focus mainly on economic perspective. Somewhere actually, if a non-economist, they can also understand. Please raise your hand and we can discuss the issue at the interdisciplinary approach. So what actually the economists understand about the environment, 1990s, there is international NGOs, they call Resource for the Future, actually funded by the US government. The group of economics, the group of economists and environmental economists, they analyzed the relationship between economics and environment. So the first point actually they came out, economists believe that the market solve all the problems. As we know very well, there is externality, 1930s, Arthur Cecil Behu, he developed the theory of negative externality. So he given the solution, the market will solve the problems. So always economists, we are thinking about the market creating the problem or market giving the solutions. In the context of here, there are number of environmental issues are there. At present, we are also seeing the climate change is one of the major issue. The second aspect of the related to the climate change and air pollution, then the biodiversity loss, then sea level rise, etc., etc. Each and every day we are reading the paper because of, for example, in Karnataka, we are sitting somewhere in the North Karnataka. the high temperature. This is as usual because of the agroecological zone. There is a dry or drought or prolonged drought. So how environmental economists looking drought as a economic issue, environmental issue, social issue. So the environmental economics, when the economists particularly see the market problems, they always recommend the market solutions. As I said, actually, the first thing, the pollution created the environmental issue. Actually, the market created the environmental issue during production and consumption side. The same market, for example, given tax, they given some kind of solutions. So if they want to increase 1 unit of production in the industry, the same time they also can contribute 1 unit of tax in terms of dollar and in terms of rupees. So the as the equal the proportion, the output and the big tax, that is actually highly accepted in the developed countries. In the developing countries, due to the governance issue, they could not be able to succeed on the big tax. The third point, actually, the non-market solution or consider economies still use only market prices to the evaluate them. For example, what we are going to discuss in the first session, I want to give some case study how actually we done in the Karnataka in the context of economic value of natural resources. How we estimating economic value of forest ecosystem services, putting it as a price for controlling the degradation of natural resources because of forest how much degrading as we know very well. So how the economic price are creating the economic value, controlling or reducing the environmental or forest degradations. We tested in the Karnataka forest. We came out with the some solution. That report we submitted to the government of Karnataka. The government of Karnataka, especially the Ministry of Forest and Environment, they highly appreciated. Now we started the extension of the work also. So, especially in the context of environmental economics, I mean, the environmental economics, the branch of economics. So, the branch of economics here actually, the methodology or the concept, the methods are same, but there is little changes. I mean, there is little differences from the major economics to the subdiscipline of environmental economics. So, the major economics discipline, we are focusing on efficiency, but here, actually, the environmental economics, what they talk about on distribution perspective. So these are the some basic ideas about the relationship between economics and environment. So why the environmental economic research, or how actually do the environmental economic research, or what environmental economic research? Based on the literature, now actually I classified on 3 point. The which one I mentioned identification of research challenges. For example, normative framework and positive framework. So here the normative framework come under the environmental economics perspective. What I said actually, general economics and the ontology and economic analysis, the valuation of ecosystem services is not much focused in the main economic research. So the main economic research, as we know very well, efficiency, economic efficiency. Instead of economic efficiency, what environmental economics focus on? Distribution, what I said earlier. So we have to identify the basic research challenges in the contemporary economics. So after 1990s, the discipline actually developed one by one in the context of how economic instrument controlling the pollution, or how non-economic instrument reducing environmental degradation or controlling natural resource degradations. So the economic instrument they applied in various way in the various geographical locations and the global level, national level, and local level. That was highly appreciated. So one of the great economists in our environmental economist research, Professor Kaligodi, he done a lot of work on the common property resources. Because of 1990s, they were done some good kind of work in the central part of India and southern part of India. They were highly appreciated from the global researcher in the context of common property resources. So the economic instrument, how helping to the sustainable utilization of the common property resources. That is the one basic research challenges actually they done, and they given some kind of solution. For example, public-private partnership, how actually helping to achieving sustainable utilization of the natural resources. The second point actually, forming a research agenda. So there are number of issues are there in the environmental economics. So how forming the research agenda? Currently there are number of issues which I told actually. For example, the economic evaluations, the forest ecosystem services. For example, we can do some kind of work in the forest, and the perspective of governance, the perspective of economics, and the perspective of for example, sociologist. I will explain laterly why the non-economists among the social science researcher, they are not highly appreciated about the economic value of the resources. So here, the forming of a research agenda, it is very important as the context of interdisciplinary approach. For example, here, the environmental economics and ecological economics. So there is a little differences between the environmental economics and ecological economics also. So here, what I want to tell something about the environmental economics. Already we know the distribution perspective. If we go there, ecological economics, there is an interdisciplinary approach. For example, allocative inefficiency of natural resources with the sustainability perspective. So how we are going to forming a research agenda? So for example, here, what we followed the forest ecosystem services in the context of economic perspective and non-economic perspective. So we fixed a research agenda over the period of time. There is a negative externality happening in the forest ecosystem services because of most of the forest ecosystem services are the non-market value. So the non-market value because of there is a bubbly goods characteristics, non-rival and non-excludable. So anyone can use at any time. There is no restrictions. Especially, I mean, this is excluded in the protected areas. So the forest ecosystem services over the period has been declined because of the overutilization or overconsumption. So how to control the forest ecosystem services for sustainable utilization? That is a major research agenda. How we actually estimated economic value, putting the price for more, the public awareness perspective and creating the economic value, submitting to the local level perspective, they can design the policies. So third one is actually links to the current research. So the economic value of forest ecosystem services. The second thing is what I want to talk about the climate change perspective. Climate change is one of the major research issue. How we are linking with the farming research agenda in the current context. So we are going to discuss about that things. The first actually, first example, what I want to discuss with you regarding the environmental valuation of forest ecosystem services. The second aspect of economics of negative externality in the forest, which we estimated in the Karnataka forest. So we quantify the loss of ecosystem services. They call in the literature negative externality. Cost actually we estimated. Third one is climate change. This the global market failure. So why market failure happen? How the market failure happen? How actually we estimated the climate change as a vulnerability index perspective. Second aspect of natural disaster, the economic aspect of natural disaster. The third, I mean, fourth perspective on measurement of sustainable development. Uh, as per the international literature, especially here actually, there were two important concepts. There is a weak sustainability and strong sustainability. So we took as a weak sustainability as one of the important indicator measuring sustainable development goal. They call as a green GDP. I will show you how we estimated the green GDP things also. So for example, here in this research methodology course, actually, I don't want to actually spend much time on the theoretical perspective. I want to give some information about the what are the major data is available, what are the major data sources in Indian context and international context. If someone they want to do some research on climate change or forest ecosystem services or the air pollutions, there is actually a lot of good data set is nowadays forthcoming. For example, in Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, since 1990s, they were biannual actually. Mean sorry, every 2 years they are publishing the data regarding the forest cover and forest cover changes. But recent surveys, they were also included about the carbon stock, above the groundwater biomass, below the groundwater biomass, carbon woody. everywhere it is available in the recent Forest Survey of India, they call State Forest Reporter. So the State Forest Reporter, it will help for the researcher analyzing the relationship between economy and environment, or status of the ecosystem, the quality which we are doing now, the quantification of ecosystem services. What I'm going to talk about in the first part of the class. So the Forest Survey of India, actually, this report helping the research in various aspects, which we are working in the many reports. We are analyzing the trends, changes of forest ecosystem services, or forest cover, or for example, forest fire. The data is nowadays people are actually updating based on the new methodology given by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementations. The second important data sources, for example, the recent years after 2000, the Ministry of Mosby, actually Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, they were frequently publishing an environmental statistics or environmental accounting. You can actually freely available in the website. For example, environmental statistics here, so air, water, energy, waste, forest, biodiversity, there is a data. Some data is available, for example, last 20 years data, like what I mentioned in the, in the Forest Survey of India. So the environmental statistics, for example, somebody they want to do research in the economics of solid waste management. There is a data available in the forest, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementations. Someone, if they want to do some research in water resource availabilities in the countries, for example, region-wise data they actually given about the water availability or water utilization or sector-wise water utilization data. Some years they actually published in recently. The second part, actually, what Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation they started, they are estimating environmental economics accounting. This is one of the concept started United Nations Statistical Division by 1990s. They call SIA, because India is one of the member country. So the environmental economic accounting, actually, what are the actual stock and flow of all the environmental goods and services. For example, here the forest resources, the forest, the relation to the economy. What are the forest services which we are receiving from the forest? So how many forest product making as a data public available, or the data how the researcher they are utilizing the data? There is a lack of data, especially in the non-timber forest product or non-market value, which we are going to talk. So the economic value of ecosystem services. The research, actually in 1990s, they were highly appreciated by the global countries. So the environmental economic accounting, it will helpful for the researcher or the policymaker understanding the relationship between economics and environment. So that's why reason most of the state income accounting calculations or national income accounting calculation, they were not included environmental resources into the economy. There was a criticism by the researchers. So now the environmental economic accounting framework, they are giving some good data integrating into the state income account or national income account. For example, Dharwad actually, the great economist Professor Panchami sir, they were actually done some work on forest accounting or natural resource accounting for forestry sector. I think 2000s, the beginning of the 2000s. That report also available in the website in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementations. How actually the natural resources integrating into the national income accounting, they call environmental accounting. So the environmental accounting statistics, the data available in the ministry since 2000. So 2000, 2003, 2005, and after 2000s, even 2020s, there were frequent 2021, 22, 23, up to 24, there is a good reports are available. If anyone, they want to do some kind of research, we can take data from the ministry. There is a Excel format also is available, appendix in the environmental accounting. The third data set, actually, everybody knows very well in the Center for Science and Environment. The Sunitha Narayan, actually, they were publishing State of Environmental Report. So nowadays, actually, what they are publishing, there is a heat or drought reports. So the monthly wise report, actually monthly wise data is available in the state wise and the region wise and the country. So that is a good data set actually available in the Center for Science and Environment, not only for the climate related things, even they were actually published in the renewable resources and non-renewable resources data. For example, renewable resources data, forest cover and water resources availabilities, non-renewable natural resources. For example, as we know very well, mining, iron, the gold, all the data is somewhere is available in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. We know very well in the Grass Valley water, the report is there. There is a time series data available for if anyone they want to do some kind of research. What is the value of the ecological services, including the renewable resources and non-renewable resources? We can actually do some kind of work. Recently, we have done some work on they call the gross ecosystem product. The gross ecosystem product means this is a addition or incremental to the GDP. So what I mentioned in the beginning, most of the state level or national level statistical the analysis, for example GDP calculations, they were not highly appreciated the environmental data because of there was a criticism there is lack of data. That's why recent Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, with the help of Ministry of Forest and Environment, they were frequently publishing the environment related data. So the environment related data they are updating by Center for Science and Environment with the high quality methodologies. The another aspect actually data sources, Indian Meteorological Department. As we know very well, someone if they want to do research in the climate change, for example, the climate change is one of the big issue in our time. So how we are understanding the changing of weather pattern in the context of the climate change, there is international research bodies they call IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So the Indian Governmental Panel on Climate Change, they were highly talk about the climate related or climate variabilities. So climate change, actually I can discuss with you a little more elaborately about the climate related variables, how the climate change impact on the household level. Actually, we done some panel data analysis in Karnataka. I can show you how I estimated as a household level vulnerability to climate change. So we used some data in the for example, natural disaster, cost of natural disaster in the country. We done something on the time series data that result, and actually I can share with you during our the presentation. So the Indian Meteorological Department, the very good data sources for precipitation and weather data. For example, drought data is available nowadays, especially for the precipitation. Particularly, the temperature is very important in the context of North Karnataka, how the temperature actually increasing over the period. Sometimes they crossing more than 40%. So how the 40% impact on the various level, various sectors. So here actually, so the drought or prolonged drought temperature is significant variable for changing socioeconomic conditions, which we tested. For example, how the temperature, the high temperature impact on the labor productivity. So how the high temperature impact on the educational attainment, school education attainment. So how the temperature, high temperature impact on the agriculture production. It is highly recognized in the country. Climate change impact on the agriculture productions. Since 1990s, actually, we are actually doing a number of good work at the national level with the different number of model. For example, what William Northus in the climate change, they use in the rise and rise model. We can actually discuss something during the climate change related discussion. Then another data sources, it's a common everyone we know very well about the world development indicators. There is a good big data set since actually 1990s. We can take all the socioeconomic, include the environmental indicators. For example, recently we used something about the forest cover or the forest areas, the GDP, the health related issues, all the socioeconomic related data is available in the world development indicator. We can use the data. Then another important data sources for the national level, and international level for the environmental and ecological economics, food and agriculture organization regarding the forest related issues are there. So these are the some data sources. So actually, if you have any major questions, actually, during our presentation, please raise your hands. We can discuss and furtherly we can continue. So these are the data sources. Someone, if you want anything specifically the environmental related issue, yes,
Sir, whether the data is available freely, sir?
yes, sir. Actually, for example, what type of data if you want actually?
No, regarding the environmental issues, suppose we don't know the how economic environment, all those things will be taken into considered.
Hmm.
For accessibilities of the maybe and the with respect to the forest, all those things, the protection
Yes,
of
sir.
the forest and how this will be going to directly impact for the human life, all those things, sir. Maybe
Sir,
in, I'm not going to specifically ask that because I am curious for regarding the environmental data with respect to the forest or whatever will be taken into considered, sir.
yes, forest data is available, sir. Actually, forest data, for example, if you can actually easily and freely get access from the state forest report. For example, Forest Survey of India, the recently 2023 report is also available. You can compare the 10 years report regarding the forest changes or the forest fire data is there.
Mm.
There is 5 years they used. For example, what we done in the Karnataka, the forest department they asked me to estimate the economic loss of forest ecosystem due to the fire. So I will show
Mm.
how I use the things. So the fire data given by the state government. The fire data nowadays actually they publishing it from the central government also. There is some,
Mm.
there is some disturbance, sir. I don't know where it is coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whether any workshop or training is going on for all those department for awareness to awareness issues campaign.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, we are doing some work in the ISAC also. There is a institution they call, ICRE, Indian Council of Agriculture. I mean, ICFRE, Indian Council of Forest and Research Education Institution in Dehradun. They were frequently doing some kind of training program regarding the awareness of the forest resources and the production and the trainings. They are actually doing something for the IFS officers frequently. Some researcher also they can attend based on the availability of the seats. So if you want to do something about the forest related things, you can write to me. I can help you in the case of what is your objective, what type of data is required. So the data is available. I can get some data from the Ministry of Forest and Environment also regarding the forest resources. If somebody's they want to do the carbon stock or carbon stock changes, so there is also available data. In the last 10 years, the data is available. At the district level data also is available. Now the government of Karnataka, there is a working plan for developing the carbon stock and flow in the all the Karnataka forest ranges. So these are some recent development. So we can discuss something about this thing. If you want, please you write to me. I can help you, sir,
Yes, sir.
in
Yes, sir.
this
Yes,
case.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello,
Yes. Thank you.
hello, sir. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, myself, Manjunath SP. My research area, environmental economics, sir.
Oh, very good, sir. Where are you from, sir?
Sir, I am from Dharwad, sir, Karnataka University.
Very good, sir. Please, sir. Yeah.
Sir, we are in process of coursework, sir.
Yes, sir.
We do not decide in topics, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, please suggest me some topics, sir.
Yes, sir. I will suggest you, sir. But if because of this is actually our research methodology course. For example, the environmental economics and ecological economics, there are good topic areas, good topics you can cover.
Oh,
For example, in a theoretical perspective and methodological perspective. Okay,
sir.
so the concepts of theoretical, you can actually design the coursework. The different school thoughts, how they thought about it. I will show you the things maybe later in this slide. So here actually, I want to. I know I will come to you that your questions during that time. Actually, I can explain more. There
Okay,
is
sir.
some good areas there. We are going to discuss about that issue. Actually, one shot actually came.
Sir, one clarification, sir, I want.
Yeah, please, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir, I present my paper on conference, international conference on about the topic waste to energy project in India, challenges and opportunities.
Okay, sir.
Sir, this is the suitable for PhD work, sir. Waste to
No,
energy.
that is a good work actually, sir. There is a data availability and solid waste. That is a good data availability is in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. You can download some data in the uh, environmental statistics or environmental accounting, which actually mentioned there in the previous slide. You can uh, use the data. For example, they given the data on solid waste generation and disposable. So some data is available on how much waste actually converted as energy perspective in the some city level. For example, Kerala they have some good data available. And they work with Rajasthan, they have something. Tamil Nadu, they have something. Even Mysuru, they have some data in the report actually how much waste converted to the energy. It is a good topic actually. But you are from economics background, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, economics background means you can apply is a very good method and good statistical analysis. How much, uh, what type of the cost is involving. For example, what we have, I have one paper in the economics and economic political weekly, the economics of solid waste. Yeah. So how much cost is actually required per ton waste of disposal? That is called for disposable cost. That is also is very important. In India, there is less research on economics of solid waste management. So the NERI they done some work, and IEG they done some work. In actually during my PhD, actually I estimated something the per ton cost of disposal waste. So that things actually the IAC now they are asking me to estimate the cost of disposal with the help of a PPMB some project. Now we are going to start that thing. How much actually waste is happening in the PPMP. So these are the very good topic areas. In the context of waste to energy, you can do some good kind of things. For example, per ton of waste, if they want to convert it as energy, how much cost is required? So what are the negative penalties happening there? So what type of waste to energy you are doing without technology or with the technologies? There is a good methodologies available, data available only for the waste. So we have to apply waste to energy methodology. That is also good data. You can actually definitely important research area. Yes, in the context of waste management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Any question? Yes, please, madam.
Sir. Sir, myself, Tejasvi Dawar from the Karnataka University, Dharwad, sir.
I'm not hearing.
I also
Yeah.
choose the environmental economics. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, madam. That is breaking your voice. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, now we can.
Please go ahead.
Now we can.
Yeah, there is some little. Yeah, I can hear you.
Economics.
Yes.
Environmental economics is research area, sir. Technically, I selected climate finance in the quick like for the piece. I don't know what variables should I study and what is the method should I use, the analysis, what can I do? I don't have idea. Can you please?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm very happy. Actually, I'm very happy to share with you something. For example, in the context of climate finance, there is a Asian Development Bank.
Yes.
I think very much aware. There is some data in the climate finance, particularly for the mitigation perspective and adaptation perspective. So that is one thing. Data is available at the country level, not in the the state level. So in state level, actually now what we are developing the national adaptation plan. We are going to submit to the COP. That is the forthcoming COP is going to happening in the Brazil. We are developing at the national level. I'm one of the expert committee member in the national adaptation plan in government of India. Tomorrow we are going to meeting in the Delhi actually. So how much actually finance they are investing in the mitigation perspective, how much finance is actually investing in the adaptation perspective.
Whether I should take a data for world level or Indian level, sir.
No, based on your objective, actually, based on your objective, you can take actually, there is India level data is there only for 10 years. So how much actually the India invested in the adaptation, invested in the mitigation. So in the mitigation perspective, there is a 5 sector: transportation, energy. There is a transportation, energy, waste, all the things. If you go there, adaptation, there is number of things. For example, livelihood, health, many things are there. Now all the government of India program, now they are going to integrate to the adaptation or mitigation to the climate change. So that is the plan by actually government of India. Now this is mandatory for every state government. We have to integrate all the program. So this is a mandatory actually be developed.
Data, sir, regarding climate
Actually, this data is not shareable now. Actually, after November only you can actually access. So now government of India actually preparing the draft. There is some data is there. National communications. You can type in the national communications. Data is available regarding the finance, how much they are invested in the adaptation of the climate change. Then national determinants communication actually NDC. How actually India committed to the Paris Agreement, how much reduce they want to CO2 from the sectoralism, how much they invested. For example, recent green credit program actually they introduced in government of India by the life the flagship program, the high level appreciation from the world. So the finance actually you can take data at the national level, not in the state level. Only for particular years also is available. When
from the budget,
ADP,
sir, budget
Asian Development Bank.
allocation.
Yeah, budget allocation.
Okay,
Budget
sir.
allocation is there. Budget allocation actually, the recent budget actually they given some data regarding particularly for they want to focus on the adaptation perspective, not in the mitigation perspective. There is a big issue.
What can analysis do, sir?
Sorry, madam.
Analysis, sir, about analysis. What can I
No
do in
analysis.
thesis, sir?
Yeah. No. Analysis actually depends upon your data and indicator. We can do some kind of analysis. For example, 10-year data is available for mitigation finance and adaptation finance. So you can link with the GDP. You can link with the forest cover. So yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
There is a good data is available. You can actually access from the ADP, Asian Development Bank. Then one more data source is also there. Green Climate Fund. Actually, they call Green Climate Fund. For India is one of the member country in the Green Climate Fund. Actually, how much still actually India we have received 12 project from the Green Climate Fund. This actually developed country they agreed to developing countries, helping to the developing countries for the the mitigation adaptation projects. This is actually as per the Copenhagen conference. So there is a good data set is there in the Green Climate Fund. How much we received fund from the various international funding agencies and various the multilateral development banks and philanthropies like in India, the NABARD actually they have some good data set about the climate finance. You can actually access some kind of data from the NABARD. NABARD actually they given some project to the various states, so they can actually they develop the data on the whether they help to the mitigation finance perspective or adaptation finance perspective. So these are the very good research area in the climate change finance at the macro level, not in come to the micro level. If we are doing some kind of research work in the state level, for example, how much actually finance invested in the various programs. For example, Jalmitra is there in Karnataka, one of the good programs. Some other forest related program is there. How much money they are investing in the various mitigation adaptation program. In the recent budget, actually there is a separate some column is there for the environmental forest and natural resources. You can access some data how much they are investing in the climate change in the various through the various program. You can gather subtract some data in the context of climate finance. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. If further information, can we write to you?
Yeah, you can write to me, madam. I think Dr. Situ have my email IDs. You can take actually in end of the session. Actually, I can share with you all the people to my email ID. You can write to me. I can discuss with you later.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So now actually, what I want to talk, what actually we are doing at present, the economic value of forest ecosystem services in Karnataka. So many people actually they were not much aware about the forest ecosystem services, which is very important research field in environmental economics, which I am doing since last so more than 10 years. We have produced number of good number of project and some publications. You can go through in my profile. If you want more information, I can share with you. For example, here, as per the international organization, they call Millennium Ecosystem Assessment or the Economics of Ecosystem and Biodiversity. They classified whether it's forest areas or wetland areas or grazing areas, some other landscape. And there are services which we are receiving from the nature. For example, in forest, you can take as a forest example. Why I took a forest example means forest is one of the good landscape in the country, producing number of benefits to the human communities. We are receiving number of benefits from the nature, from the forest areas, but we are not much attention or we are not much paying to the forest. That is a must. That is a big issues in the research because of market failure or imperfect market imperfect market or these are the major economic issue which I'm going to show the next slide. What is provisioning services? The provisioning services means here we are gathering goods from forest, material benefits. For example, fruits and vegetables we are gathering from the forest. For example, non-tribal, tribal communities, they are taking more benefit from the forest, non-timber forest product. So these are the things they call for provisioning ecosystem services for water ecosystems and timber. So these are the major forest provisioning services. So provisioning services, there are two provisioning, major type. There is a timber and non-timber forest product. Timber actually they are exporting to the from state to state or country to the international things for teak wood, timber wood, sandalwood, etc., etc. These are the come under the provisioning services, which we are getting direct benefit, direct consumptive wood. The second part actually regulating services, which is very important. For example, pollination services, or carbon sequestration, or water regulation, or soil regulation. So, as per the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment or the Economics of Ecosystem and Biodiversity, there are 10 type of regulating ecosystem services. And then finally, cultural ecosystem services, for example, recreations or education or cultural heritage in the forest areas or non-forest areas, they call as a cultural ecosystem services. So as per the Millennium Ecosystem Services and then the TPO, we have actually for the 24 ecosystem services available in the literature. So someone actually the environmental economics course they want to develop in their curriculum as a separate paper. I can help you there, sir, from Harvard University. For example, here actually what I want to talk, you can start, especially for you, the slide actually you can understand the economic idea of natural resources. I putting in this slide as a different school thoughts. For example, pre-classical economics, basic rates and mercantilisms, how actually they understand about the nature. So they understand about land is resources. So land is a central part of economic theory. So primary sources of wealth actually before the classical economics. Then second part actually William Petty, 1664 actually 17th century. They were highly talk about the concentration on the land is one of the major wealth of their nation related to the economic theory. The second school thought classical economics, as you are aware very well about the wealth of nations So what is wealth of nation? They understand of accumulation of the capitals, the accumulation of the wealth, the different wealth actually. There is a human resources or the productivity, the human-made resources. Uh, so here actually, what is a basic criticism in the classical economics by the environmental economic point of view? They actually mention about the natural resource. I mean, land is one of the major resources, accumulation of the wealth, but they never mention what type of land. So this is the major criticism. So during their time, actually, land is one of the major sources of wealth of nation. So laterally, what the environmental economics actually found the what type of land actually providing the economic benefit to the human communities. So forest is one of the land, agriculture is one of the land. Fisheries is one of the things, water bodies, etc., etc. Grazing lands, desert, many things are there. So how they understand of the economics ideas of the natural resources or ecological resources. Then in neoclassical economics, which actually they found the basic foundation for the human welfare things, they want to value everything. So the environmental economics, basically we are taking some methodology, some concept from the environmental economic, neoclassical economics. Arthur Cecil Bego 1920s and 30s. His great books on the economics of welfare. He talk about the externality theory, especially the negative externality perspective. So then Hicks, then Hotling Rule, David Pearce. These are the neoclassical economics people. Then go to the institutional economics of 1920s to 2000s. The Veblen and Mitchell, the Commons, actually they developed the institutional perspective on ecological resources or air pollution, water pollution, etc., etc. Then finally, 1990s, the ecological economics point of view, the Herman Daly and Christian Daly, the Robert Costanza, some other the great ecologist and economist, they come together. They developed the sub-discipline from the economics. They call they call ecological economics. So the ecological economics main theme is actually, the economy part of the ecosystems. So the environmental economics they thought actually ecology is a part of ecosystems. So ecological economics they thought economy is a part of the ecosystems. There was the contradictory between the ecological economics and environmental economics. Particularly ecological economics, what they focus on sustainability perspective with the capital, for example, substitute capital, actually natural capital and the human capital, the substitutable. So they call actually weak and strong sustainability. So, sir, actually from Dharwad University, Manjunath, sir, if you, know, for example, you raised the questions, how actually I'm going to framing the environmental economics things. You can start from the basic economic idea of natural resources as a different school thought. And then you can develop actually a conceptual framework and what are the theories are available in the environmental economics and ecological economics. Then you can actually develop the theory, then externality you can talk. So what is externality theories? From the externality theories you can talk about the positive externality, negative externality, then go to the public goods. For example, public goods is a major concern and a good research topic. So common property resources is coming, the forestry resources coming, fisheries resources coming, open resources. The Elena Rostrom, she got actually the Nobel Prize for the common property resources. How the actually resources actually managing through the collective action. Olson theory is there. Higgs Coulter compensation principle is there. So there are the theoretical point in the environmental economics. Then you can talk about the valuation methods and perspective. What I am talking now, the forestry you can talk actually, air pollution you can talk, water pollution you can talk. Then whatever you need actually, what are the major environmental issues, environmental problems in the current contemporary. Then you can develop actually economics of climate change. Then you can develop as the sustainable development. For example, measurement of sustainable development, which we are going to talk something in the green GDP. So these are some actually basic concept actually what I am teaching in my course, because of last 10 years I'm the course coordinator in Isaac for teaching environmental and natural resource and ecological economics here, as well as in the base, the Dr. B. R. Ambedkar School of Economics. We are teaching the natural resource economics. So these are the some actually basic ideas, sir. You can develop the curriculum and the framework in the the environmental economics. So here actually you can talk about the, for example, valuation of ecosystem services. You see there in the. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Nobody are actually responding. That's the reason I was little wondering because I mean there is a power situation in ISAC also. I'm sitting in the room. I'm connecting through my mobile. I don't know when it's going to over things. I'm expecting actually the internet connection from my office. Okay, we can continue now. So value of natural capital here. This is one of the greatest topic which we are doing now. I'm collaborating with the Stanford University and United States of America, and the help of Chinese Academy of Science and the University of Minnesota, US. We are actually estimating the valuing natural capital, and they call actually valuing natural capital for the ecosystem services. Government of India actually, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, they started the pilot project with Karnataka. Ourselves and IAC, we done some work on the Uttara Kannada and Dakshina Kannada. Something we done in the Chamarajanagar, which I'm going to show the valuing natural capital. So first, actually, the idea of valuing the natural capital from the Christian Daily 1990s, the United Nation, US, Stanford University. So he talk about actually socio-ecological system. What is the relationship between economy, society, and nature? That is very important actually. So people is the main stream of the conservation, which is very important now. For example, environmental economics people, they very much understand about the relationship between economics and economic development and natural resource conservation. That is actually still we are not balancing the things. There is a trade-off happening in the both side. So how to balance actually we are developing some kind of model at present. The help of the local communities in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. We done some work. Then we are actually comparing with the Himalayas, the Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, how the traditional communities they are conserving the nature through the balancing their livelihood and the conservation perspective. I think this is actually one of the good example for the global countries for conservation of nature. So the second part actually the economics of ecosystem and biodiversity. We are working now. They have different type of methods. For example, I'm going to show the next slide about what are the evaluation methods are available in the literature. They call of the valuing nature. Then recent another international report actually came out since even 2000. They call Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services (IPAS). Then nature contribution to the people. Then I think some of the people they are much aware about the Professor Partha Dasgupta. He's the greatest environmental economist in the world, working in the Cambridge University. Recently he produced the report called The Economics of Biodiversity. It's a very huge and very important report. For those who are doing research in the economics of nature, biodiversity, and ecosystem services or forestry. So what we focus on accounting for externality and transformative change is required. So these are the actually framework we developed actually based on the literature, how the valuing natural resources over the period actually. So now you can actually think as a research point of view in the environmental economics, why valuing nature? Or why valuing the ecosystem services, or why valuing the forest, or why valuing the water. You can read the points which actually I took from the deep report, Pascal and Modi in 2010, and the recent report by Biter. So what actually they were came with the major reasons. For example, why we need the valuing in nature, missing market. For example, as I said, most of the ecosystem services or forestry, there is missing market. For example, carbon, there is no market. Now people they talk about the carbon market or carbon trading or carbon tax. If you go there in the interior forest, there is a good rain. So the rain actually protecting the water bodies, the protecting the the soil, or protecting the water regulations, disease regulations. These are the benefits we are actually not capturing as economic value. The second thing actually, if they are doing the market price, there is imperfect market or the market failure. Then third reason, actually, uncertainty involving demand and supply of natural resources, especially in the future context, actually. We can do some kind of good research work. For example, what is our demand from the nature? What is the supply of nature? So you see that today, what is your contribution to the nature conservation? Nothing. This is still is zero, actually, because we are emitting more carbon things, or water consumption, or food consumption, etc., etc. How many people we are planting today trees? There is zero tree plantation from our group, actually, even from my side. So we don't know, actually. This is uncertainty in the demand and supply. That's the reason we have to putting in price to the nature for the future perspective. Then government, they want to design some kind of policies or biodiversity policies or ecosystem services policy. It will help. Then natural capital accounting, natural resource accounting, then natural resource allocation, decision making, damage assessment, internalize externalities, and the price settings. So these are the actually some of the reasons for the why we need economic value of natural resources. So here, actually, now I'm coming to the the method. What actually what method we are using in the economic valuation. For example, as per the literature, there are different type of approaches, methods, and what type of value. Actually, before go to the slide, we can go this thing. Yes, the total economic value. There is a framework. If any forest areas, we can estimate total economic value. What is total economic value? For example, which anyone can actually give some example of protected areas or national wildlife sanctuaries or wildlife sanctuaries in Karnataka.
So which one, sir? Can you repeat, sir, once again?
Any protected areas in Karnataka?
Productive area.
Tiger reserve or wildlife areas in Karnataka.
In Dandeli, I think is there.
Yeah, you are from which district? Yeah? Sir?
I'm presently in Kalaburgi district.
Okay, sir. Okay. Kalaburgi district, which protected area is there?
No, sir. I don't know, sir.
Okay, no problem. Okay. You said something in Dandeli.
Dandeli, sir. Dandeli.
Okay. Yes. So, for example, that protected areas, anyone can tell any protected areas. For example, Bear Hills, Biliri Rangasamy Wildlife Sanctuary is there, Panarkata National Park is there, Pandipur National Park is there, Nagarkule National Park is there. Right now, Rajiv Gandhi National Park is there. So these are the very famous national park. 5 national park actually we have in Karnataka. So more than 30 wildlife sanctuaries is there. Chettigali Wildlife Sanctuaries is there in Shimoga. So many wildlife sanctuaries there right now. So if any wildlife sanctuaries or any protected areas, you can estimate its economic value. This is total economic value of the protected areas. What we are doing, we have done something in total economic value of some protected areas. I can show you the result. How I done. That is a method. What method I used? How I used the method. For example, a total economic value means as per the literature. So use value, non-use value. What is use value? For example, forestry resources we are using directly. That is called for the consumptive goods. For example, total economic value approach, consumptive goods means direct consumption from the nature. As a human being, we are directly consuming crop, livestock, fisheries, wild fruits, wild food, and aquaculture. So what is
Bombos also?
Yes, sir. Actually, directly we are consuming whatever from there in the nature. That is a direct to consumptive goods. You can think whatever you are consuming from the nature, whether it's you are paying or non-paying. Paying means how much you are paying to whom you are paying. For example, vegetables you are paying from the market. How much you are paying the vegetables. So that is actually production coming from the various part of the countries or various part of our areas. So that is also come from the nature. If you ask me, actually, that is also nature's value. So we are paying something to the nature, but we are not fully paying to the natures. We are paying only for the vegetables, for the transportation cost and the manual cost. But
Yes,
we are
sir,
not
yes.
paying. We are not paying to the nature, right? No, but nature provided the goods and services to the human being. That cost is missing, right?
Yes,
That
sir,
is a
yes, sir.
research. Yeah, that research actually we need what we try to do something on valuing nature. So valuing nature means including the nature roles into the human being. That's the reason actually the recent literature what they call nature contribution to the people, right? So that is a consumptive goods. So we know only one part of the product product actually. We are actually paying for only the goods. We are not paying to the services right now. That's the
Yes,
reason
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ecosystem services. We are paying only the ecosystem goods, not in the services. So what is our argument from the environmental or ecological economist? We should pay to the services also, because if we are getting service, nature actually they call actually ego services. No, ecosystem servicing to the people. Ecosystem servicing to the human being. What is our pay? What is our responsibility to the nature? So actually, economic point of view we can take, and the non-economic point of view also we can take. So that's the reason actually, no, the consumptive goods. The non-consumptive goods actually, for example, what I said, recreation, spiritual, cultural, human well-being. For example, people we are traveling to the nature-based tourism. Okay, we are paying something for the tourist. The entry fees or travel cost. Here actually, our own vehicle means we are actually putting the petrol, that is also travel cost. We are staying the places in the tourism areas, the accommodation fees, food, everything. Because there is a nature-based tourism, not in the part of nature-based tourism. For example, I am going to the Delhi. I want to visit the Red Court means that is actually about not the full purpose of the nature-based tourism. Because if I'm going my job of doing some of meeting, so by the time I want to visit the area, that is not nature-based tourism. If you are going nature-based tourism with your family, that is a fully counted for the nature's value. You are creating value to the nature. So this is good actually. What we are doing something on ecosystem services, or the nature, or environmental well-being. So how
Even
actually
even
you have,
Shishimog also Shettiali is there. Shettiali National.
Yeah. Chettil actually we done some project actually. I will show you there the Chettil wildlife sanctuaries, how the people are actually producing or cultivating their cannot. So the land is actually given by to the people. Somebody's they have the land with the patta. Somebody is actually there is actually non-tribal people sitting in the Chettil wildlife sanctuaries. They were doing some good cultivation. There is one river is there. I forgot the river name. So the water actually provided by the water bodies. So how much they are paying to the water, because that is a nature-based water ecosystem services. So per hectare of water ecosystem. So these are the things actually. I am not actually mingle with the agriculture things. That is actually forest and water related ecosystem services. Agriculture
Yes,
also they call agro ecosystem services is there. So that
yes,
is
sir.
actually non-consumptive and indirect use. So direct use is consumptive value, and non-consumptive value. If we go indirect use value means we can actually benefit actually as a material benefit. This is the services, pest control, pollination, water regulation, purification, or soil fertility. So these values actually it's very huge. For example, in Bangalore, why people are like Bangalore, because Bangalore the climate right now, because there is a lot of trees available, because above the sea level it is very high. So these are the reason actually. Any questions?
No, sir. No.
Okay. So you see there as per my things. You see there. This is the regulating services. This is the second thing. So the regulating services, it is very important to the human being, even in the context of well-being. If, for example, above the 40 degrees Celsius, also people are living based on the adaptations. We go there somewhere in the animals, they can, live sometimes, because we are adapting to the existing climate. So the nature actually is a big adaptation to the climate change, because nature giving the rain, right now, nature providing the shadow, nature providing number of benefits to the human communities. But that is actually everything not able to estimate as economic value. So that is the reason actually we are actually generating the positive and negative externality to the societies. So no, everything everything is not possible to consider as a value, but something should need the value things. So another thing is option value, the future use of known as unknown benefits and biggest value. For example, In Karnataka, we are sitting here. If I want to travel somewhere in the US, in my ticket, actually, I'm paying indirectly to the some services. For example, people, you can actually pay for your future generation because of, you, for example, here, Amazon Brazil is one of the global carbon sink, right? So how the Amazon global carbon sink conservation by the people? You can pay from in India, from Karnataka, you can pay something to the Amazon forest. So for this is a global carbon sink right now, because we are also getting benefit from the global carbon sink. So if all the carbon emitted by the various sectors and economic productivity not able to live in this earth because of there is a carbon sink in the sea areas, there is a carbon capture station, carbon actually sequestration in the forest areas, there is a carbon sequestration in the grasslands. So these are the benefits which we are actually receiving from the nature. They are the major carbon sink. If they are emitting all the carbon, so we are not able to live in the earth because already we crossed 1.2. Now we are expecting actually 1.5 and 2 degree. So these are the issues in the economics of climate change, which we are going to talk about something in the climate change perspective. Now I am coming to the case study. What we done, the things. For example, Western Ghats is one of the global biological diversity, as you know very well. So here actually, what I want to talk something about the Western Ghats. I think we are very much interested in the Western Ghats. We know about the Western Ghats areas. 1 minute. Yes. So from Karnataka to, for example, Goa to Gujarat to Goa is coming here. Right now, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Goa. So 6 states. So 1,500 kilometer distance. So 1,60,000 square kilometers. World Heritage Center. You see that there is number of good reports came out about the assessment, like if Kargil report is there, Kasturi report is there. So here, for example, from the 100% in the Western Ghats, so the 60% actually people are using as a natural landscape should not disturb the natural landscape. So not in the human intervention, there is not any much sorting the industries and tourism. So 40% people are actually using as a cultural perspective. They can go within the forest areas. They can do some kind of collection and work. 40% actually they allowed for human interventions. But even the what Professor Madhav Gadkil report, they mentioned more than 90% actually they should not disturb the forest. In the Kasturi report, actually, they said actually 30% we can do the landscape and 60% we can do the no, there's 30% the landscape, I mean natural landscape, and 60% for the cultural landscape. So there was a contradictory between both things. Still is actually the Ministry of Environment Forest actually redefining re reclassification of the forest and ecosystem services. So these are the something in the Western Ghats, the Western Ghats global biological diversity in India. So what we done in the Karnataka, in the Western Ghats, for example, what do you, someone, the 1 minute, please be in. Hello. Hey, Professor, I'm in class. I'm in online seminar. I- Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, please. I'm in the Darwin online class. Please message me, then we will discuss. Thank you. Sorry for some internal disturbance regarding some meetings. Okay. So, someone actually, the participant, some, they asked about the TLU wildlife sanctuaries in Simoka. So, what we done something in economic value of forest ecosystem services. For example, Billigiri Rangasamy Wildlife Sanctuary in Chamarajanagar, Nagarhole National Park here, and Bannerghatta National Park in Bangalore, Bandipur National Park, and Nandi Hills. So here, what we done something on, it is not able to estimate economic value of all ecosystem services. So we done something on provisioning services in Billigiri Rangasamy Wildlife Sanctuary. carbon sequestration, soil erosion, and recreation services. Nagarhole National Park, we done something in carbon sequestration and soil erosion prevention and recreation. Then Banarghat National Park also done carbon sequestration, soil erosion prevention, and recreation services. And Bandipur National Park, the same thing. And Chattigali Wildlife Sanctuary, actually, we done something on provisioning services, carbon sequestration, soil erosion, not in the the recreation services. The Nandi Hills is one of the very famous, you know, that club regarding and the very famous tourism part, the Nandi Hills. So we estimated the economic value of you know, the different type of ecosystem services in different part of the region in Karnataka. What type of methods we follow? Actually, you can also do the pick and the economic evaluation method in the countries, what people are doing. For example, provisioning services, we done some household survey. It's based on the structural, semi-structural questionnaire that we call as a market price method. For example, how much actually people are collecting the resources, how much they are selling in the market. They call the market price method for the non-timber forest product. In Karnataka, actually, we fixed actually the price of non-timber forest product based on the minimum support price, Ministry of Tribal and Welfare Affairs. They call, in Karnataka, we government of Karnataka actually they developed a large scale Adivasi multi-purpose society. So the tribal community, for example, in Pilligiri Rangasamy Wildlife Sanctuaries, they have to sell their honey or the amla or any other, the non-timber forest product through the lamp. So the lamp actually giving the some prices. Okay, that is also, for example, per kg honey, they are getting 500 plus. The actual price of the honey per kg more than 700. If you come to the Bangalore, more than 1,000 rupees, the actual honey. But we don't know the honey is actual honey is things. If you go there in the Belliri Rangasamy Wildlife Sanctuary as a tourism, if you want to see the that Rangasamy peta, you can get some kind of the pure honey there in the lamp, a large scale of the Masi multi-purpose society. So that is actually we done some household surveys the tribal communities. How we estimated soil erosion prevention. For example, sedimentation of removal cost, rate of erosion of the broadleaf forest, rate of erosion of non-timber forest product. So, for example, what type of value method we used per ton of the sedimentation removal cost based on the previous methods from the forest areas from the World Bank and some other ministries. Then other the questions of paper we took on the soil erosion prevention services. So then carbon sequestration is one of the very important research part in the current.
Sorry,
Yeah.
soil erosion means you go for the field and collecting the soil and the testing, sir?
No, actually, what we done based on the benefit transfer method, we used actually IIC data. IIC, they have some data in terms of science. We used the data. So they estimated per removal cost actually done 2.5 US dollar. So per hectare, how much actually 0.5 ton the erosion broadleaves forest areas. But this is only forest areas, not in the agricultural land. So rate of erosion actually they done. So these are the things actually they done. We took data from the IAC method from the various research methodologies. Then the carbon sequestration is one of the important good research areas which we are doing now. In the now actually we done something for Karnataka, we done all the things. Now the state district actually 10 district we done something. Now forest department they asked me to do elaborate all the forest range. Now we have to do the all forest range of economic evaluation as a good framework for protecting the nature. This is a mandatory for everywhere. So carbon sequestration, what we done, for example, different forest type in the country. The different forest type, they have the different forest sequestration, carbon sequestration. Right now, area, for example, evergreen forest, semi-evergreen forest, and the total areas, net carbon sequestration, locked semi-evergreen. What is the carbon price? For example, the problem is here estimating economic value of carbon sequestration, the social cost of carbon, which is India not actually done. So that is a major great issue, actually criticism by the many the policymakers and bureaucrats when we are attending the meeting by the Ministry of Environment, Forest, or State Government Forest Department. Even we had a meeting in the last 7th with the Ministry of Environment Forest. So they asked us to estimate the social cost of carbon. So social cost of carbon means here per ton of carbon, if increase due to the various socioeconomic activity, how much the impact on the economy. So for example, through the general equilibrium model, so various sectors, what RISE and TICE model. I mean, RISE means regional integrated climate economy. TICE means dynamic integrated the climate economy by the run by the William North's Nobel laureate and research for the future and Maryland University people. They actually done social cost of carbon for India. So per ton of carbon, if increasing means what is the positive cost, what is the negative cost. So they actually done $86 per ton of carbon. The positive externality, negative externality equal to Indian prices nearly 6,000 in the current price method now. So this is actually it is very critical and very difficult to estimate. But even we are doing something with the local data. The IAC they done something on per ton of carbon cost is $36 dollar to $40. Now we are actually we are starting now re-estimation in the carbon stock of a different forest type in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, which we got one project from the government of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu joint project. Now we are working. So this is the carbon sequestration what we done. So go to the next one, recreation ecosystem services. Tourist visitor.
Sir, carbon illustration, they provide the information regarding the increase in the carbon or decrease in carbon, right, sir?
Yes, actually for example, sir, in you can take as a social cost of carbon means what is the benefit and loss of due to the carbon. What is the benefit means, for example, 1 ton increase the carbon due to the transportation or industrial activities. The carbon sequestered in the forest areas or in the sea
No,
areas and
no,
other
no, no. My
sectors.
point is, whenever the carbon illustration, the sensor is there for looking for the carbon. I don't know. Therefore, I curious for asking, sir, for
No,
understanding those concepts, sir. Because physically we know that, but I don't know how the increasing or decreasing. The sensor is they are going to look in one particular location. They are going to
yes,
testing.
yes.
I don't.
Yeah, yeah. The sensor is actually capturing the carbon stock in the areas. That is actually increasing the carbon. For example, 1 ton increase in the carbon, that is value is $86. That per ton of carbon. That is through the sensor or another methodology. If you go to the negative perspective, actually, what is happening? If increase in the carbon, what is the cost of health? For example, the cost of health. That is also called as a negative externality, the things, the pollution. The pollution actually estimated per ton of carbon in increasing means $86 also, decreasing means also $86. The negative cost of carbon stock or a negative cost of carbon increases for in terms of air pollution.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
per ton of carbon for the positive aspect 86 ton, negative aspect 86 ton. That is actually still is there. There is no clarity in the methodology actually because of there is a nature paper actually 2018 published in the Nature Sustainability. The Ricky et al. From the US group, they estimated the things, but still is not actually convinced this rate. But still, we are using the same rate. But because of there is lack of data in India, because of sectoral wise GDP, I mean sectoral wise carbon emission is not there much. Maybe 1 year or 2 year. We need the time series data. So then only we can come actually as I mean how much actually increasing or how much is decreasing. So what is a positive aspect? What is a negative aspect? The both the things we have to estimate. That is a social cost of carbon. You got the point now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So actually, I have I given some lecture in these social cost of carbon in Kotogu coffee plantations. What we are going to something implement through the forest department, and so they ready to pay something for the carbon trading, carbon market. Some World Bank, some international organization, they ready to buy the carbon. So per hectare, the coffee, how much carbon sequestered. So based on that things, they can get money from that agency. So they can buy some money from the World Bank. So they can provide to the coffee plantations. So we are working as a expertise in the field. We estimated per hectare of the coffee carbon sequestration in the Kodagu. It is a payment for ecosystem services concept. I think the environment economics people they understand very much. Can I move now? Next one. Are you understand, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So the recreation,
Yes, sir.
yes. Yes, madam, please. Is there any question? Is there any question, sir?
So, sir, regarding
No, sir.
recreation,
No,
sir,
sir.
tourist visitors to the
Yeah, yeah.
national,
Yeah. No,
how
regarding
private
the
sector will be conducting, sir, whether it is the entry
premise
fees or
service.
exit fees, or we will give some cost to the natural, all those things. How you making a survey, sir? Whether you go for the survey through questionnaire and asking the respondents for tourist, or whether you meet for the tourist officials, how you going to conduct it? So just for curiosity, I ask, sir.
Yes, yeah. So here actually the recreation value means as your points very well. So this is semi-structural request into the tourist places and tourism officials. So for the tourism tourist actually we made the questionnaire semi-structural questionnaire for general socio-economic survey in the one part. And the second part is the where they are coming from, how they are coming from, how many people are there accompany, how many days actually they are staying here, how much they paid for entry fees, how much the accommodation, everything we actually full covered. It is a full travel cost. We run the actually multiple regression model. I will show you the things. That is actually in the tourism areas. For example, Panarkata, if you are coming there, we have to take survey in the Panarkata in the entrance. Sometimes actually inside the Panarkata with the permission of Panarkata National Park officials. We done the surveys. We have a huge data set, actually nearly 1,200 tourist data set we have, sir. We done something, the big survey in Karnataka for the 5 protected areas. So finally we estimated the consumer surplus. I will show you the things, consumer surplus. So soil production functions, they call actually hedonic price and opportunity cost method. How actually we estimated the formulas, what is the each formulas, the economic value of soil conservations. So something actually because of the these are the thing we can convert it as a US dollar to the Indian rupees. For example, cost of per ton. What I show you the tables, sedimentation cost actually respective type of forest hectare is how much actually erosion. These are the things local data is not available. I am telling very frankly because we took something from the from the literature. So the actually as per the FAO there is a forest definition. So Indian definition and the FAO definition it's not the same. I think you know very well. So still is actually the valuing of nature. It is not actually absolute. There is a relative value actually we are estimating. So still we are conveying the relative values. Now the 16th Finance Commission actually they asked to us to provide the study what we done in Karnataka. So still actually we are getting money from the Finance Commission based on the forest area. Now they are asking per hectare value of forest areas. So now this 16th Finance Commission now is under the consideration. For example, if Karnataka done something per hectare value of forest ecosystem services, we will get money from the the 16th Finance Commission as per the estimation. This is a new application actually we are doing. So these are the very important research area, how it is helping to the financial allocations. That is a major economic implications. That is a travel cost. What actually you asked, sir? What you asked? No. So this is a
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
about that. Yeah, travel cost. You can read the now. What is the regression model we done? The basic model for the or actually the number of trip depends upon their travel cost. For example, somebody is there coming from the Kerala to the Karnataka. So depends upon the distance. So cost means actually if they want to come maybe yearly 2 times. Some people they want to come yearly 1 times as a tourism. So how much they travel? I mean paying as a cost. Their age is one of the important factor. The marital status important factor. So new married couples actually they want to travel more. Their consumer surplus is very high. So household size, for example, less number of household people they can uh, actually travel more number of household size people they can travel less. So educational level also is awareness about the nature and the nature's role. People they can go there. There is significant and non-significant. Then residential location from the um, rural areas and urban areas are from Delhi or from the Bangalore. So residence location is very important. Household income also is very important. Quality of the park. If, for example, all park not getting the same attraction by tourist. For example, Lalbarg is getting more attraction because of they developed well with the good number of flowers here and there. It is not getting, for example, Kapan Park is not, there is no boundary because located in the nearby, then so anyone can access. Now we are trying to do something with the, the boundary of the Kapan Park, working with the government of Karnataka. They are going to do something soon. So the quality of park is very important. Why actually Bandarghatta National Park getting more visitors compared than Chettigal Wildlife Sanctuaries? So how many wildlife they can see if they travel there? Because of the tourism fees also is very less compared than Bandarghatta National Park. So this is a dummy also we can do something urban, rural, or about the park, good quality or bad quality, like that. So finally we done something on consumer surplus and based on the PITA coefficient of the travel cost and multiply by the total number of visitors per year. It is come as a consumer surplus of the per park. What we done in the evaluation of provisioning ecosystem services with the number of provisioning services in the Bandarghatta. I mean the Billy some wildlife sanctuaries. They have Paravana Cheke, Magala Bureau, Amla, Pachi, the Kashika things, honey, gooseberries. These are the things product actually they are gathering from the forest. So per season, how much actually they are they are gathering from the 148 household. This is actually aggregations. We done something not for the entire population, simply because of the D2 data, as you know very well, the sampling framework. So this is a value of provisioning services in Chettigal Wildlife Sanctuaries, also agriculture product. For example, in Chettigal Wildlife Sanctuaries, they are actually doing something on ginger product. So somewhere in the paddy, banana, all the things, the tribal communities they can do something, some kind of agriculture product inside the protected areas. These are the economical carbon sequestration by we estimated for some name of the areas, then carbon in the vegetation, carbon in the soil, and both. So this data actually we took from the Forest Survey of India. Beginning what I spoke, and the Forest Survey of India actually they given something on carbon stock in the above ground level biomass, below ground level biomass, and woody biomass, soil organic carbon. So we took based on the carbon vegetation in the different forest type in the Pilgrim Wildlife Sanctuary, some other park. Then carbon soil, both we estimated based on the social cost of carbon. What I told is $86. So this is a soil production functions, the things because of out of 24 ecosystem services, we done only the 7 ecosystem services because of due to lack of data. So this is a consumer surplus actually done something, as per the formula minus 1 by beta coefficient of travel cost and multiplied by the total number of visitors in the park. We can do something. This is based on this work actually will helpful to the designing the entry fee of the park. What actually in Banarghatta National Park, they asked me to estimate the revised park fees. They asked me actually as per the the survey and based on the the inflation rate. We suggested something and 8 rupees for increasing the Banarghatta National Park. I don't know how much they increased recently. We recommended to the state government. So I think they revised soon. So each park actually we can estimate the park based on the number of tourist visitors, how much actually they are getting happiness, how much they would like to willing to pay. So all the things. So these are the willingness to pay for in each park. Some park actually they want to pay more, Nagarhole National Park actually because Nagarhole National Park they can see some kind of wildlife things are deer or tiger and elephant, some other things, cheetah things. People they would like to pay something. Those who are coming from the outside, they would like to pay willingness to. They would like to willing to pay more than 500. But because of the 500 actually, they want to pay me. They want to see the things. This is a mean willingness to pay by the tourist visitors. So these are the frequencies that are happen. These are the result actually what you asked, sir. How the travel cost method based on the
So, before last side, sir. So before last side, the 10
okay.
rupees, 100 rupees. That is on that particular spot we will collecting the information or how we will
Yeah,
take.
yeah. So the spot actually the tourist people we actually collected data from the different tourist places and touristers. say they actually would like to willing to pay somewhere. For example, willingness to pay depends upon the income. Right now, for example, here, if 1 lakh, in Bangalore, those who are visiting Bangalore to Bangalore National Park people, for in Sunday, Saturday, in IT people, they would like to pay willing to pay more than 1,000, 2,000 rupees so the economy income is one of the important determinant factor. So there is actually issues. The the political and economic factors are affecting willingness to pay. You know very well. For example, if you want to visit to the Taj Mahal, there is no entry fees, I think. Because, sorry, I never visited till now the Taj Mahal. So if I want to visit the national park, Panagal National Park, for me it's actually because I'm the expertise in the field, I can get the free access. That is not the issue. If I'm taking my families, I got
Yes,
to
sir.
pay
Yes, sir.
something. For example, how much actually my wife or my son they would like to willing to pay. So they can ask question from my families. If whatever they reveal, they can do the mean willingness to pay. So there is inequality in the mean willingness to pay because of if they are earning less than 500 per day, they cannot be able to pay more than 500 because they have to fulfill their basic needs. Where is time for the recreation? Right now. So this is actually reveal preference. As per the reveal preference theory, how much you will demand theory. Right now, based on your demand. So everyone actually if not necessary to participate as a tourist. Right now, it's a nature contribution to the people because this is a people perception. Okay, so this frequency, this is a result actually what we done something about the normally what theory is talking actually the travel cost the coefficient should actually minus. For example, I am traveling from the Dharwad to Thekadi, Kerala. So I took actually I have to take flight or train. I have to spend a lot of money because of the travel cost is very important. So travel cost and frequency visit is negative always. It's a distance. So that's the reason travel cost always should come as a negative, significant. So if come to the positive means you are proving actually the result is wrong actually. So there is a positive association between travel cost and the distance. So that is always should come as a negative. Okay. So I'm the still now actually the economic value of forest ecosystem services study. I don't want to actually show the questionnaire and method everything. I believe you understand something. If you have any questions, you can raise now. Now I have to start another another research area. Now valuing the forest ecosystem services, we used the various methods and type of data and the type of theories what we done. This research will help to the local policymaker understanding about the nature. So now I'm stopping here. Madam, Seema madam, is there now? I need 5 minutes rest actually. Can I take rest 5 minutes? Hello?
Sir, actually 11:30 to 11:45 break is there, sir.
11:30 to 11:45 break is there?
Yes, sir. Actually.
Okay. 11:45 break is there. Okay.
Sir,
So-
there is a break for 15 minutes.
Sorry, madam.
There is a break for 15 minutes, sir. We can take a break and they'll rejoin us, sir.
Okay. So we can take break now only is because of maybe I have to meet the director 5 minutes.
Yes,
Then
sir.
we can continue maybe 11:45 to 1 o'clock we can do. Right?
Yes, sir.
It's fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah. Actually, some internet issue still is not connecting. Again, I'm connecting with the mobile. Last 1 hour we managed actually. Yeah. Hope thing will continue. Anything stop means we can do up to 1 o'clock actually try. Till the slide, any doubt is there? Any clarification or any comments?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, myself Vidyashri Teli.
Yes, madam.
I am my research specialization is environmental economics, sir.
Yes, madam.
I choose the topic impact of climate change in economics, sir. What do you study in this area, sir?
Yes, actually, maybe after 20 minutes, we are going to start the discussion about the climate change. That time, actually, you can raise the question, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Still, yeah, our next discussion, because of I want to continue the same thing about what the cost of the previous discussion about the now the cost of the positive externality. Now, actually, I want to the cost of negative externality. Things I will show you. Recently, we have completed some project funded by the government of Karnataka, the forest department. They asked me to they asked us to estimate the cost of uh, loss of forest ecosystem services. So we estimated both sides. The previous discussion about the cost of positive externality. Now, actually, the cost of negative externality in the forestry sector. Actually, this work highly appreciated by the government. So, state government. So the state government they given 100 crore money for these project as a compensation for the forest department based on our study. So here actually we are the teacher. Uh, we are the teacher. We knows what is the cost of negative externality. What the bigger they talk about the cost of negative externality. For example, my production or my consumption, how impact on your welfare, whether it's a positive way or negative way. So the positive way means that is called about the positive externality, negative way means negative externality. For example, in the case of forestry sector, the forest ecosystems, the recent economic development, for example, railway construction, road construction, or dam construction, or any other infrastructure construction uh, in the forest areas. So disturbing the ecosystem services, where we are not getting frequent good services. For example, carbon stock or climate regulations or water purification or soil, because of they are permanently, finish and destroy the areas or permanently clear the forest areas. They want to establish the maybe the dam or school construction or water storage construction or railway construction, something. So that is also good for the ecological. I mean, that is good for the human welfare. But in the context of ecologically is degraded. So how the things happened in the Karnataka, we estimated based on the forest data from the uh, forest department. So what we estimated actually loss and degradation of forest ecosystems. So as per the definition, what is a loss and what the degradation? So what actually we observed, the long-term reduction of overall potential supply, the supply of benefits of forest ecosystem decline, for including actually wood biodiversity and other goods and services. You can take whatever you want. So you can Google it. What is the loss and degradation of forest ecosystem services? So this concept actually we applied in our research. What is the loss and degradations? The areas, the IUCN International Union Conservation Nature, some other researcher, and they also done some work in the forest loss and the degradation of ecosystem services. So here, especially what I mentioned, the system of environmental economic accounting is one of the important, the UN under the UN body, there is system of environmental economic accountings. They have the separate framework for the forest sector, water sector, solid waste sector, air qualities, and non-renewable natural resources like coal, oil, mining, everything. So every country, those who are in the United Nation countries, they are voluntarily constructing the system of environmental economic accounting based on the sector, also by the sector. So government of India also, we are actually committed to the United Nation. We also constructed some environmental economic accounting things. As I said at the beginning, there is environmental economic accounting under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementations. So we took the framework, we applied in the government of Karnataka. I mean, we applied the Karnataka Forestry Department. We done the project. For example, as I said, actually, as a research agenda, what we took in the beginning I said actually identification of the research and the research agenda. That research agenda, current research we have to link with the current research. So for example, in India, in the Paris Agreement, Government of India they agreed to the Paris Agreement. The carbon sink, the additional carbon, they want to increase 2.5 to 3 billion tons. If those who are interested, you can see there in the Forest Survey of India or Forest Report. They written in the introduction. India already they achieved actually 3 billion tons of forest by 2023. So that is actually written by the uh, by the experts or the ministry, but need to analyze really we achieved or not. So in the context of Karnataka, why is the matter? So Karnataka, they identified the ministry is a second potential state. For example, Western Ghats we have. So Western Ghats actually increasing more carbon saying because of Karnataka Western Ghats more than 60% actually Western Ghats located in the Karnataka as per the Korkal report. So what government of Karnataka, I mean, what government of India they identified? So in Karnataka they can achieve 112.95 million ton by 2030. That is the matter. But how we are going to achieve by the government of India? So through the forestry sector. So that's the reason our state is very important in the context of sequestering carbon. So the economic development, how balancing the ecological conservation, that is a basic question. So we need the development at the same time, we have to also achieve the carbon stock. So in this case, actually, we tested something, how much we are doing. If you see there in the recent survey, they clearly mentioned actually we achieved, but there is some little issues there. So how we actually applied the framework, the system of environmental economic accounting for calculations. For example, here what we used the second then on the cost of negative externality because of most of the Indian literature in the forestry sector, we used only the economic valuation of forest ecosystem services, but not in the negative cost actually estimated in the forestry sector. What we done some kind of innovation ideas. The study period we took actually 2015 2016. So what type of data we used from where is the data sources? What are the methods we used? How we calculated? So these are the things we are going to discuss. So different actually socio-economic purposes. In government of Karnataka, they requested the forest department to provide the forest land. For example, conversion of other purpose such as irrigation or hydel wind power project or mining project or quarrying project, road construction, railway construction, transmission line, and other categories. So the pipe, drinking water supply, which is very important for the well-being of the communities for drinking water supply or irrigation for the agriculture, etc., etc. So as per the annual report of Forest Department, there are two type of data is available. You can actually take in the Forest Department annual report. There is a forest land conversion data as per the 1980 Forest Conservation Act. So, so how much forest land conversion to the non-forestry purpose in terms of hectare? We took the one data set. The second data set actually forest fire they given based on the remote sensing application center in Bangalore available in the RNA Bhavan, Malleshwaram, Bangalore. So we took the two data. So this is socio-economic development impact on the forest area. Second, the forest fire also impact on the forest areas. So impact on the forest area in the context of, for example, this conversion, the forest fire, how affected the ecosystem services. The continuous supply is declining. You see that is very important research issue which we captured. The continuous actually ecosystem supply damaged. Ecosystem supply actually declined. So that cost actually the cost of ecosystem loss and damage actually we can be captured based on the various valuation methods which actually done in the for example provisioning services non-timber forest product timber production and non-timber forest product household income. So the regulating services we took actually carbon sequestration, for example, in vegetation, soil organic carbon, soil erosion prevention, and air purification, SO2 and NO2, the pollination services. This is a method we used. So what data we used? You see the data. For example, in Forest Survey of India, or I mean, the annual forest report in Government of Karnataka, they have the data. In 2015, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21. We took only the 5 years. So you can Google it actually. Based on this report, Karnataka state in the country, first we developed the eco budget. That is very highly appreciated by the central government. What they want to do for the entire country, they call eco budget. So you can Google it. What is eco budget? We defined ourselves. So the forest land conversion. Yes, sir.
Ego budget, EGO budget or ECO budget.
Yeah, ECO budget.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because of actually we done from the Isaac, our team done the great work. Actually, the previous government they given 100 crore money to the forest department based on the report. So the forest department, I am the part of the ego budget committee member in the state. We designed something about the eco compensation program in the various agroecological zone, for example, Sun Ghats and dry areas and drought prone areas and central plain areas and coastal areas. The 7 program actually we designed based on the eco budget. Now is ongoing the projects actually. And the people are very happy about involving the project. It is actually tested project. Now it is actually getting more appreciation from the even I give one talk in the United Nations Statistical Division in the system of environmental economic accounting. You can actually see there in our the same work in the United Nations Statistical Division. They call system of environmental economic accounting. So the irrigation purpose, they converted forest land to the non for irrigation, hydel and wind power, year-wise. We took only 5 years, mining and quarrying, road construction, railway, transmission line, and others. So this is the first data set. The second data set you can take as a forest fire. You see that 15, 16 to 2020, 21. The forest fire happening to various reasons. For example, now the Bandipur Tiger Reserve actually getting more forest fire areas due to the climate. So a man-made actually natural forest fire is there, as you know very well. So due to the man-made and natural forest fire, this much of forest area lost actually in terms of hectare, right? So this is actually, you see there, what I done, we done actually year-wise the forest conversion in types of hectare, forest fire, A, B. So third is the total plus A and B. Then carbon stored in the vegetation. This data we took from the Forest Survey of India in Karnataka forest. Right, carbon stored in the vegetation 33.4 ton actually. Right. Then social cost of carbon, what I told, $86. Right, during the 2021 price of cost current price nearly 6,000. There is fluctuation from 5,000 to 6,000. So this is a method actually we do the data. So this is a kind of innovative ideas we done. So what actually we discussed
loss
about,
of carbon in vegetarian means what's the loss of carbon in vegetarian means? The how carbon will be going to affect for a vegetarian product, sir?
Yes, sir. What is this happen actually? Due to the forest conversion, the first A means 108.34 hectare they cleared. They cleared for the various purpose. So the carbon lost already. If they want to construct the building, they have to clear the forest area. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the per hectare carbon stock is cleared 2015-16. Right. So this is actually data we took A, B, and the carbon stock storage in this. For example, per hectare carbon stock in the vegetation 33.41. If 33.41 multiply by actually 100.8 for 277.1. You see there. So the social cost you have to add for per hectare the value of stored of carbon vegetation 5,313. We estimated by the US the economist. So if 1 hectare they cleared, so 1 hectare value of the forest, especially the corporate stock, that is also cleared. So that is coming as a negative perspective. The loss of carbon stock, economic value of loss of carbon stock. You understand now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For example, you see there in, yes, sir. You understand? Anyone have questions?
Please explain some more, sir. Some.
Yeah. For example, sir, if Chattigali wildlife injury is there, the Chattigali wildlife injury is total number of areas something. So they want to do some kind of construction in the inside forest areas. So they have to clear the forest areas. They have to cut the trees because construction or dam construction they want to do. So now actually the trees serving as a carbon stock, the carbon storing in the tree, right? Vegetation per
Sir, yes, sir.
hectare. So if they want to clear this year, the carbon store is this value. If next year they want to clear, means next year the loss of the carbon because there is no tree. They cleared the trees. The carbon is lost. The value also carbon stock is lost
Yes, sir.
because of the clearance. So per
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
hectare,
Yes.
yeah, this
The
is
earlier
actually
the tree will be already cutting. Therefore, it's a next year it's a converted into carbon loss. Okay.
yeah, carbon loss. If,
Okay.
for example, forest fire happen, there is a carbon damages. You got my point, na? ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ?
Yes, sir. Go there. Go there. Go there. Go there.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. Can I move next slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here actually, what is social cost of carbon? What I actually you raised some questions. The social cost of carbon represents the economic cost associated with climate change that result from the emission and additional ton of carbon stock. I mean dioxide. Social cost of carbon capture amount of marginal damage. Marginal damage is a negative. Marginal benefits is a positive. Right now, marginal damage is negative. If per hectare they cleared the forest area, what is the cost of carbon? Right now, this is actually per ton of carbon social cost already they estimated from the US economist. We took actually $86 dollar as per the current price. Actually, nearly 7,000 is coming. So I told in the Ricky et al. Somebody is actually 2018. So this is a formula they took actually based on the general equilibrium models. There is a different discount rate is there. There is a lot of things are there. Different sector they have to put up. So this is very important. No, most of the people they are doing the carbon value without actually social cost of carbon. That is actually not fulfilled. That is not actually right things. Now we have to go the formal methodology, formal way for economic value of carbon sequestration by the social cost of carbon. So that's the reason we are working now for the national adaptation plan in the government of India. So I'm going to present the methodology from my side in actually tomorrow, the national adaptation plan in the government of India. So ministry they will actually participate all the things we are going to finalize. So there is a climate change time we can discuss more. So this is the social cost of carbon. So 3% discount rate, 5% discount rate they can put based on the time, right? So now the soil organic carbon. The earlier actually what I told, this is actually vegetation, right? There is a carbon in soil also. The same thing you can see there in the fourth and fifth. Fifth is also same. Fourth you can see there soil organic carbon as per the Ministry of Statistics. I mean Ministry of Forest Forest Survey of India. There is a per hectare soil organic carbon 53.2 in India, including Karnataka also. So the data already developed by the Forest Survey of India. So these are the soil organic carbon. If the same thing, if they cleared the per hectare forest area, soil organic carbon also is clearing. So that is a loss. Right now, that is a you see
Yes,
there
sir.
in
Yes,
the
sir. Yes, sir.
marginal negative. So this is
That
actually
means
we done some
that means 1 hectare is will be going to cut the tree. That will be
yeah.
soil. That will be damage to the directly soil.
Yeah,
Soil
soil
carbon.
also,
Right, sir?
including
Yes,
vegetation,
soil,
yes.
soil. Okay.
So
Okay.
this is
There
actually
is a standard formula, is there? There is a standard formula. Okay.
Yes. These are the things. This is the soil production, soil regulations, then air quality regulations. Per hectare actually because of tree providing air quality regulation, right? Soil quality regulation, right? We done some
Yes.
studies in Karnataka. In our paper also actually we highly recommended to the Ministry of Statistics and program implementation for the the calculations. So this is air quality regulation. SO2, the same thing happen. This is actually NO2 also. This data is actually fully taken from the forest department. We put on innovative ideas through our studies. What if we done something economically, we go some services in Karnataka, we apply the same thing. So for example, nitrogen dioxide annual absorption rate, somebody is estimated in the NERI, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute in Mumbai. So we took the study for, because of we could not able to estimate all the things. We took something from the other studies. We estimated because the report is available, you can read the go budget. Actually,
So,
if you Google
please
it,
tell me, sir, what's the report? National?
no, National no, Climate Change Adaptation Plan is forthcoming. It is not available now, maybe after November only. You can see that ego budget in Karnataka. I discussed everything in the paper.
Okay, okay,
Just
okay.
you put ego budget in Karnataka, you can get some ideas. So this is no loss of pollination. It is very interesting. Because there is a positive pollination. I think I think right now the agricultural land in the nearby the forest areas, the bees are coming from the forest to the agriculture.
No, sir. No, my request is the how to
Ah.
find out the air loss of air quality.
Okay.
Whether you take the report from the standard report, and they're already there, and you put it, or you make it some index. I ask you,
No,
sir.
we made the estimation. Actually, data we took from the forest department, the total forest area and forest fire. The same thing you can. I never changed anything. The A, B, third total also. So the nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide annual absorption rate. Actually, the NERI estimated.
Mean estimation.
Then quantity of estimation, SO2 done actually, we done something based on the formula, air quality regulations. Then finally, we estimated the abatement cost of SO2. For example, the per hectare, they cleared the forest area, the air quality regulation also is gone right now because of the air pollution will increase because of trees, one of the important services absorbing the pollution. So if you are cutting the trees, the air quality is also gone. So within the air quality, there is two things: NO2, SO2, NOx. Right, the both things. If you
Yes,
see
sir.
there
Yes.
in the so these are the things actually. So from the actual data we took from the forest department, so we estimated based on our formulas the data from the previous literature, but the estimation from ours, not from the whole from the another data. So otherwise, this is the government project, government report, because of highly reviewed by the expertise and they highly accepted. So these are the things we can do the things actually. So I given the lecture in the forest things and actually in front of our farmers, Chief Minister of Karnataka.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They asked many questions during the presentation actually. There was a 2 month time they given to me for preparation of the report. After preparation of the report, actually, I went there in the Vidhan Chowda. They requested us to make the presentation in front of experts and IAC and IAM. Another forest minister was there and other expertise. So after actually finalizing, after reviewing the things, they finalized the report. Any
Yes,
questions,
sir.
sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, nothing, sir.
You are only, no? You are only. Okay. So this is actually loss of pollination. The same thing. If you're clearing the forest area or a forest fire, the pollination services also will lose. For example, in forest areas, we could not take actually 100% pollination in the forest areas. Those agricultural land located nearby the protected areas. That's the reason I put on 25%. So 100% we cannot take. So 100% inside the forest, we don't know where is the pollination. If there is no data. For example, agricultural land, those who are involving in the agriculture, we took a 25% the area nearby the forest areas. So 25% of the degraded areas in the forest nearby the agricultural land, they are not getting the pollination from the forest. You understand?
No, I know. I don't know what's the meaning of the pollination, sir. Pollination. The word pollination.
Yeah. Pollination means actually, sir, for example, agricultural, the productivity happening, for various product, pulses, cereals, paddy cultivations. There is a pollinations. there is a pollination. So pollination means if some bee, honey production, no, honey, how the honey production happen? Honey process, a natural honey process.
Yes,
The
sir.
bees, they have to come sit in the flowers. They take
Yes, sir.
something.
Yes, sir.
It's the pollinations.
Yes, sir.
It's the pollination happening by the for transformation there, from one plant to another plant.
Okay.
That is a benefit. It's a pollination services which actually huge gem of value in the world. Actually, it is missing in the calculation. So that's the reason actually in environmental economics they call economic value of pollination services. It is very very important actually. It is very important. It's many people are not doing the things. We done something based on the survey. Some data we took from the literature. We applied the mean value of the 2 papers. Then we applied for the pollination services. Per hectare value of pollination services, you can estimate, sir. Just you Google it, pollination. What is pollination? Right? Pollination service is very important because of if the protected areas in the forest areas where they are degrading, that is a matter. For example, nearby the agricultural land, the forest area, if they cleared, the agricultural land also is affecting in terms of pollination. There is no any honeybees for pollinating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
To agriculture, because within the agriculture they have to do the pollination. There is not any much benefit. So they have to come out. They took something from the other trees to the agricultural land.
Yes, sir. The concept I understand, sir. But how to exactly measure it? That is a very difficult task, sir.
That's the reason I tell economic valuation is not exact measurable. There is absolute, not absolute. There is a relative only right now.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Per hectare, there is a methodology. Per hectare value of pollination service, there is a methodology.
Oh, there is a methodology, is there?
Methodology is there. I show no in the beginning market price method and opportunity cost method is there.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, I got it.
In the case of negative externality, if per hectare clearance of the forest, how much is loss? For example, 277.01 hectare is clear means so this much pollination in the last slide 2,33,000. So sorry, 23,377.2 they lost.
Okay.
Apply that method.
Okay.
It is our
Yes, sir. Yes.
another
I got it, sir. Based on that formula, we will get it. Okay.
Yeah. So revenue loss from the non-timber forest product. You see there, for example, in tribal communities, they are involving in the forest, non-timber forest collections. So if due to the clearance of the forest, due to the degradation of forest, they are not able to get any non-timber forest product, honey or amla something. So they lost their seasonal employment. Right now,
Revenue also.
revenue. They lost of the production done. So what is the problem is very important. Where they cleared the forest area, that is very important. Government of Karnataka, they are not cleared the forest in the Puspagiri wildlife areas. That is a core part of Uttara Kannada. So that is inner part.
Yes, sir.
So the periphery they want somewhere, maybe they were in the not in the core forest areas. They want in the buffer zone. They want to actually establish the dam in the buffer zone. They are not establishing the core forest area. So that's the reason the Meghdadu now under discussion why Ministry of Environment still is not given the clearance. So many things they have to look. Environmental economics perspective is very important. So this is the loss of revenue, particularly for the forest areas where they cleared from 1516 to 2021. So household income, this one. This is a loss of revenue for the non-timber forest. Loss of revenue for non-timber forest product, the state level, government. Because government actually they are exporting some non-timber forest product. I think you know very well.
So what's that? NTP-FS means
Non-timber forest product. Non-timber forest product. For the state level.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the household collection, income they lost. For example, 12,000 per season, we estimated in the Pili century, somewhere here and there, in Jati level century. I showed the slide now. The household income of forest product. So the household income also is lost. So we took only the 7 indicators, sir. Not in the out of 24 ecosystem services, 7 indicator they done actually. So if this is actually conventional value. So if you put the more overestimation, overestimation on the policymaker, they will not actually encourage us to do this work. So they will
Yes, sir.
say,
Yes.
oh, this is very good publication you've done. Very good. Absolutely, you can publish something. All the best. It's not coming to the policy level. If, for example, I estimated 3,893 crore for 5 years, the loss of forest ecosystem services in the particular specified services, they given very good, the compensation, at least 100 crore they given. If I estimate more than 10 lakh crore or a billion crore, they said, how can I give the compensation? Because our total budget is less than a trillion right now.
Sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Right, sir, right, sir, right, sir. It's some. We will know some practical perspectives also. Okay.
Yeah, that is the thing actually between ourselves and the IIC. IIC actually they called me for they given the methodological presentation by the whole forest department, all IFS officer they attended. So I given actually half day presentation was there actually. Like you were asking the questions, each and every slides there was 15 minutes, 20 minutes discussion from the ministry.
So 1 minute, sir, if you don't mind. So household income, what are the inputs you take, sir? Just for curiosity. Inputs. I'm not asking the formula.
Yeah, formula is very simple, sir. Inputs means how much people are collecting non-timber forest to protect from the forest.
So how to collect it, sir, this information?
Information actually we took from survey. For example, Billy Rangasamy village, there is only a tribal community, very well. Non-timber forest collection.
Some problem is there. Why? I don't know. We're going to talk.
Yeah, sorry, some disturbance. Yeah. So I have to complete now actually because still we are in the evaluation. So the household survey we done each household survey, sir. Each household. So how many people are involving non-timber forest product collection, when they are going, when they are coming, how much the quantity, each kg where they are selling. For example, how many kg honey they are. For example, in a season wise they are actually. Sorry. Yes, Dr. Seema, there is some disturbance. Can you stop the disturbance? Okay, I think now we can continue.
Please tell me, sir.
Yeah. So this is economic loss of timber, sir. So the economic loss of timber means, for example, every year there is a timber production in the state due to the clearance of forest. They lost the timber productions in terms of lakhs. So 2016-17, they cleared. So forest fire and forest land to the non-forest conversion. So state government also they lost some revenue, right? So this is actually we adopted the system of environmental economic accounting, the forest resource accounting formula under the data. So this is we estimated from the data. So this is a final estimation.
Yes,
what
sir. In the household and timber, you go for some of the 100 respondent, you can collect it, sir. Or you put it.
No,
just for
we done some survey, sir.
No,
Our semi-structural question, we done some survey. Then survey we estimated the economic value of non-timber forest product per season.
Okay.
So
in survey, how many respondents will be there? Just I ask, sir.
Sir, just actually 248 household we met in the Billy submission. While then 148 household in the Chetty level centuries. Some of the 120 people in the Nagarjuna National Park, 150 people from Nagarjuna National Park. So everything is based on the literature. I mean, everything based on the data, the household data.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So this is economic loss for ecosystem services in the core. For example, loss of carbon in the vegetation, loss of carbon in soil organic, soil erosion prevention, sulfur dioxide, what you said, nitrogen oxide, pollination services, non-timber forest product in the state level, household income loss, loss of timber. So altogether coming as actually 3,000 something, 3,983 crores. You see there loss of carbon sequestration. The diagram I given the data here. This is economic value in the crore. So what actually the chief minister very keen on this study actually Now the eco budget program is actually continuing. I am part of the things now. So this is actually one of the important good initiative in the Karnataka for valuing forest ecosystem services, especially negative perspective about the compensation perspective. So yeah, I said that based on our project, actually they started some of the restoration forest ecosystem services and some of the things. So what is ego budget? What we done, something, the concept and definition, what we defined our own self. You can read the ego budget in Karnataka if you put in the Google. Things will come. This is ego budget. So how much we estimated that 3,831. The first paragraph in the last line. Maybe I done the things. I said many times. So 100 crore they given for all the compensation. If you see that 2023-24 now 22-23 budget, there is an announcement the 100 crore for the project compensation.
Yes,
based
sir.
on our estimation. This is actually very successful project in the government. So restoration happen, as I said, it is based on compensation. They call it ecological compensation program, which China is they are doing a lot of good works. We try to implement something here. So now I am stopping the economic valuation things. Okay. So can I move to another research area? What actually some of some of our participants they want to know something about the climate change, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Asima, I am actually uploading another slide. Please help me. Any questions, sir? Still,
Sir, if you don't mind, can you share some what level of questionnaire you can go into ask that some the sample questionnaire, sir, if you don't mind, with respect to the environmental accounting, because that should be required, sir. When you go, because in our MCOM student, they're looking for some, because we are in Madhigiri, Tumkur, there is a dry land will be there. Some of the communities also take into consider. Can you share some few
okay.
questionnaire, sir?
Okay, sure, sir. Sure. Okay, now I'm now I sure. Yeah, now actually I want to upload another slides. Can you show the slide? Can you see the slide now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now this is actually another interesting things. I don't know how much time do I have. It's actually half an hour is there. Problem we can finish something. Those who are actually interested in the context of climate change and the natural disaster and the drought and flood. This is one of the common research in the economics. Most of the people actually they were not properly connecting with the climate change and economics. But there is a climate change economics and macro perspective and micro perspective. There is a one part actually I want to discuss with you. Second part actually what I done something on green accounting or the green GDP which we are started recently in Karnataka and something in Tamil Nadu also. So this is actually this course only attending by the economic researcher or the non-economic researcher. I don't know the thing. So actually, I put climate change as a various, the interdisciplinary perspective. So one is the historical perspective. What is the
No,
history?
sir, more than is 70% economic students and 40% will be commerce students and 10% for law students also there.
That is what it is actually. Okay. For example, history means the 200 years, how the weather changing. That is historical things. There is a data for 200 years for CO2 emissions, how much actually located in the atmosphere. That is a history. So economics means cost of climate change. The finance, what actually the some expert raised the questions. Climate finance, how much actually climate change is one of the greatest market failure in the globe. The market failure, the mother of market failure, which Nicholas Stone, the economics of climate change, he written in the book 2006, before actually the William authors. The sociology, the role of human global the climate change, how the sociological things are changing, social behavior and all the things. So political science people, they can do something, and what are the governance, the law they are doing. So the governance is very important. For example, the conference of parties and the climate governance, the climate justice, everything done. So as economic perspective, so most of the economics, participants they are attending. This is actually paper published in the American Economic Review. For example, presently we have 1.2% the global the temperature today, as per the today. If they are crossing if 2% degree or 3% degree, what is the impact in the GDP? This is a global GDPs. So they given actually very excellent data set through the global general equilibrium models, particularly for how the climate change, especially in the temperature, you can take precipitation, rainfall, you can take drought, you can take flood, you can take storm, you can take then disaster, you can take. So whatever data is available, you can take. I already mentioned what are the data sources for the climate change. How relating to the economics affect the fundamental buildings of economic productions. So economic production based on the nature. So our 60% of our course based on the agriculture. So increasing the temperature, there is a reduction in the rainfall, the reduction in the agriculture production. So agriculture production share in the GDP. These are the problem is happening. For example, loss of income and asset, distributional impact is there. Our distributional impact means agriculture sector is affecting, forestry sector is affecting, fishery sector is affecting. So the finance wise and technological wise, scarcity of access to the basic resources, food, water, energy for the vulnerable peoples, access to the opportunities, poverty and inequality. Finally, what we are talking nowadays actually, I'm going to give you some lecture in the University of Manchester, the coming June, poverty and inequality related to the climate change. So IPCC, Intergovernmental the Panel on Climate Change, the fifth assessment report and sixth assessment report, they predicted already the climate change impact on not as same, because of socioeconomic condition is very important. Particularly marginalized people or low-income communities, they are highly affected, especially in the developing countries. So out of 3.7 or 4 billion the global populations, more than 60 to 70% actually people highly affected due to the climate change one and another event. Even the World Bank report the assessed many things study. Then other researchers they also done something about the climate change. So the low income community is actually one of the matter, or developing income is one of the matter, especially high vulnerability to climate change. For example, in India, there are a number of good studies are there. Ministry of actually Science and Technology, they came out with the good report. So 2021, there is vulnerability assessment report. 2024, there is a drought index report. There is a flood index report at the district level. So the estimated based on the IPCC report. So India, more than 80% of 85% of the district in India come under the highly vulnerable to the climate change, particularly in Karnataka. Drought related vulnerability is very high compared than flood related vulnerabilities. So these are the issues actually happening due to the climate change or climate variability is things. So now I want to show the things how actually the vulnerability assessment actually can do based on the IPCC methods. What is IPCC methods actually? Socio-economic approach is there. There is actually social science and including economics. Biophysical approach is there. For the biological and science background, they can do the mapping or prediction of the climate variability, the future. That is a biophysical approach. Then second, actually integrated third one integrated approach, both the socio-economic and biophysical approach in the quantity wise as well as quality wise. So we applied in our Karnataka the integrated vulnerability approach, which is actually combined both socio-economic and biophysical approach in the at the household level in the 4 district. I will show you the things 4 district. So IPCC methodology we actually applied. What type of IPCC methodology we applied? Vulnerability, climate vulnerability. There is adverse impact due to the climate change. Sequel, what actually people they have adaptive capacity minus sensitivity plus exposure. So sensitivity and exposure means actually what type of the climate variabilities negatively impact on their socioeconomic or livelihood or income. See, everything is actually we can consider here. So there is 17 indicator as per the IPCC report for constructing vulnerability index, climate vulnerability index. For adaptive capacity means, for example, in Karnataka, adaptive capacity means MG Narega is one of the adaptive capacity for that is come under the poverty alleviation program. You can take whatever the agriculture program is there, the irrigation program is there, now come under the adaptive capacity program. So this is actually, it is very helpful to the state government for designing the climate adaptation and climate mitigation policies. We are actually part of state action plan on climate change. I written one chapter to the state action plan on climate change, socio-economic vulnerability. It is freely available in the internet. You can see that in my chapter actually is there socio-economic vulnerability. Based on that things actually, now they are designing some kind of policies in government of Canada. So these are the formulas actually we done based on fact analysis for the how constructing the vulnerability index. What are the elements of adaptive capacity? What are the variables or exposure and sensitivities? The different household. Okay. So based on the principal component analysis, I think when economist we can see that. So these are the formulas of the principal component analysis for each households. For example, A1, A2, A3 is all the 17 indicators also is there. So these are actually how the factors influencing household vulnerability to climate change. For example, how the household vulnerabilities, for example, the dependent variable is ordinal. In the case of where the vulnerability is order high vulnerability or moderate vulnerability or low vulnerability. After constructing the vulnerability index, you can check with the household index based on the logic regression, probit regression, actually the dummy variables. So these are the household vulnerability index for the 4 district. We done actually 308 household we took from the Udupi, Raichur, Mandi and Kolara. So more than 200 household, nearly 208 household come under the high vulnerability to climate change. So the high vulnerability to climate change means they need urgent recovery for the assistance, socioeconomic assistance from the state government or central government or the local government. So remaining actually only we found 11 household come under the low vulnerability climate change, remaining a moderate vulnerability to climate change. Because of you can understand now, you can see in our villages, in our district, how many people actually, how many farmers, how many forest dependent communities are lost their employment due to the climate related factors. So now the government of India, they released the report actually with the last report, the drought related migrations, right? Or temperature related migrations. For example, in Kerala, they changed it sometimes in their working time because of the high temperature. They crossed more than 40, sometimes 45. So morning 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, then they will start again 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So this is a labor productivity. So how impact actually the temperature and the productivity and the labor. So supply of labor, demand labor. These are the actually highly need to do in the macroeconomic perspective and microeconomic perspective. So what in my argument actually to the government of India also, there are different sectoral wise adaptation to climate change, sectoral wise vulnerabilities, agriculture, climate change adaptation, or climate vulnerabilities, climate to forest vulnerabilities, climate fisheries vulnerabilities. Is there sectoral wise? There is no any data. There is no any separate economic assessment, especially for the different social categories. For example, low income categories, or for example, this is a common marginalized communities. Marginalized communities, we know the things, certain caste, certain tribe, women, old age group, they are come under the high vulnerability to the climate change because of they don't have the huge amount of economy. They don't have the proper coping mechanisms. So they are depending on the climate sensitive sectors. So they are highly vulnerable. So this focus actually totally missing in the government of India, which we done something work for the Karnataka. Now actually government of India, they want to do something on social group wise vulnerabilities. So these are actually very interesting areas actually vulnerability to the climate change. So here actually what happened, the vulnerability to climate change will help you to the for designing the adaptation strategies or the mitigation strategies. So adaptation to the climate change, how the communities we need the different adaptation to the climate change. If you go there in the forest areas, they have the very good traditional knowledge for adapting to the climate change. They can tell when rain may come. So when the temperature will rise, because of when the rain going to start in the season time, because of the ants, small ants actually, they are constructing some kind of a mud home in the ants near their houses in the tribal areas. So they understand, okay, maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, rain is going to come. So the traditional knowledge is very important. So the traditional knowledge, adapting to the climate change, it is highly now accepted. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, actually, because of I thought you were because my internet is still is not working, so I connected with mobile. No, still is continuing the same thing. So anyone can test actually. There is a climate data. Climate data means where the climate data is the Indian Meteorological Department. For district-wise data is there. Even village-wise data is there. So district-wise data you can take. For the
Indian
district.
Meteorological Department, sir. Meteorological Department.
Indian Meteorological Department, yeah. Indian Meteorological Department. There is um, a data for the rainfall data, precipitation data is there now. Average mean rainfall, month-wise rainfall is there, sir.
Yes, sir.
Year-wise
Yes, sir.
rainfall is there. So the temperature data is there. So temperature on the month-wise temperature is there, mean annual temperature, and year-wise mean annual temperature. You can link with the GDP. You can link with the labor productivity. You can link with the forest production. You can link with the whatever you want. So there is a climate variability data, secondary data. So people are raised many questions to me when I'm presenting the paper or when I'm presenting representation from the the meeting, all things, how the social economic things. Social economic is very important because World Bank already predicted in 2050 more than 40 million people they are going to push in the poverty due to the climate change. So more than 120 million people they are going to push in the migrations. So these are the very critical socio-economic issues, right? If you see there, if you open everyday newspaper, there is a forest fire, there is a storm, there is a flood, there is a drought. So these are the common issue now. What the World Bank actually in India, if 5% is there, 3% actually affected due to the climate change, one and another way. So whether it's a drought or flood or a temperature rise or rainfall, for example, there is a huge rainfall in the northeast. There is no rain in the North Carolina. There is a huge rain in the Sirapunji. There is no rain in the Andhra. So these are the seasonal climate actually. Now the unseasonal things, the weather pattern is changing because of anthropogenic, right? Because of our human anthropogenic. Because our social economic system is totally different right now. Because our consumption pattern is different. So we are occupying the forest areas, we are occupying the water bodies. There is multiple issues there. Climate change actually global common issue. There is no any solution. Recently, actually, one of the from the Stanford University, we are working some project how the traditional knowledge can help the adaptation. The forest is one of the adaptation to climate change, mitigation to the climate change. So mitigation means reducing the CO2 emission. Adaptation means they can adapt in the forest areas. So they can actually, for example, if you go and see there in the tribal areas in the interior forest, they don't want to come out because they know what is happening in the climate in the city. They do not lose their happiness. They are happy whatever they are taking from the forest. That is a good adaptation, which we don't have now because we are living in the city area. We are sitting in the room places every day now night actually this monsoon now is the season actually the summer season. So without fan, without cooling, could not able to sleep. So that is also because we are adapting to the climate change at in our level. They are adapting their climate change their level. So the adaptation is very important actually. So you can actually develop. Finally, what is happening actually? Human well-being is totally disturbed. Okay, the disturbance of total well-being, health impact is coming. Children's education is problem, etc., etc. You can relate with the everything. Climate change is a common issue now, actually. In every household, we are facing, every person we are facing. So, what is the solution here? The solution is here means we have to adapt ourselves. Otherwise, they have to come out with the big policy implications, like for reducing CO2 emission. I mean, using the public transportation. So, this is the household vulnerability is happening here. So, among the 308 household, about 208 household actually they come under the high vulnerability means this is a sampling. This is sample only. If you go there in the entire population in the Karnataka, that is also is more than 60 to 70%. We can say they are come under the high vulnerability climate change. What Ministry of Statistics and what Ministry of Science and Technology they predicted, 85% of the district in the Karnataka come under the high vulnerability to climate change based on the risk of drought, especially Udupi and that region is Bangalore based on the flood and disaster. So these are the common issues happening in the climate change. You can actually link with the climate change data and economic. What we done something in the government of Karnataka, what I written socio-economic vulnerability to climate change. For example, we took 12 indicators. For example, the population density, residents in Karnataka, scheduled caste population, scheduled tribe population, district-based literacy. Literacy is actually one of adaptations. Percentage of forest cover is adaptation. Employment provided by the engineering is one of adaptation. That's the reason all the socio-economic policy now they want to actually integrate with the adaptation strategy, adaptation to the climate change. This is a planning we are actually working with the central government, the national adaptation to climate change plan. Some district-wise primary health center, that is adaptations. Marginal workers by the residents in Karnataka, district-wise per capita income. So district-wise of the banking services, the adaptations, disabled because of the MT Nareka money go to the banking. Right, that is adaptation disabled because we can take more than 15, 16, 20 variables as per the data things. We have to mention about the adaptation indicator and vulnerable, mitigation indicators. So these are the things what we done in the chapter. The same chapter actually you can take from the state action plan on climate change. You can see there now, for example, the all the green colors come under the low vulnerability to climate change. Low vulnerability means they can adapt for the present climate because
So
they have little money.
give some indicators, some example, adaptational indicators and mitigation indicators, sir.
Adaptation, adaptation indicators means, for example, if you have the good, monthly income right now.
Yes, sir.
If you have the agricultural land,
Yes, sir.
if you have the some good health,
Yes, sir.
if you have some in the family, they are actually involving some agricultural productivities, or somebody is there involving in the engineering class, somebody is actually working as a doctor, somebody is working
Yes,
as a
sir.
good educator. These are the common other good adaptation because they can help you for how to adapt. So the money is one of the important adaptation per capita income right now because of the if you have good money, if you are for example the person if you are affecting due to the cough and cold today, they can go and get a treatment from the doctor, the high quality doctor. If they don't have the per capita good income, where they can go to the somewhere they can get something. So the curation time is will change right now.
Yes, sir.
The technological
Same thing in the mitigation indicator, sir. Mitigation indicator, sir. Or
no, mitigation means how you are reducing the CO2 emission. For example, in your home, if you have the solar energy, you are not emitting the pollution because of you are getting own energy supply from your solar power from the rooftop. That is a mitigation you are adapted. Here you are saving money as well as you are reducing the CO2 emission. Otherwise, we are getting all the electricity from the non-fossil fuel, fossil fuel. Because of fossil fuel, here the gold-based industries. Our generation, for example, in Tamil Nadu, they were the nuclear power generation. Right now,
Yes, sir.
we are getting generation from there. So the power generation actually emitting more carbon. In
Yes, sir.
Tumkuru, we have the Asian largest solar energy. So in that
Yes.
region, they are getting actually is good energy, non-fossil fuel. They are not emitting the CO2 emission. They are adapting the climate change as a mitigation perspective. Mitigation
Yes, sir.
means how much using CO2 emission through your socio-economic activity. Adaptation means how you are adapting for the current climate. For example, the heat, how you are adapting the climate. You are drinking more water. You are drinking more good fruits, good foods. That is adaptation. You are adapting to the climate, right? You
Yes.
understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah. So actually, this is a very good study. I can talk whole day actually. So here actually the low vulnerability to climate change, for example, Bangalore areas. Actually, this data actually took from the government of Karnataka, from the various department, because there is a government report what I done. Even we showed something Belgaum, why come under the low vulnerability climate change. So large number of population they are involving in the MG. I think you can understand those who are doing some research. Uttara Kannada, the forest areas, Shimoga's forest areas, the adaptation things like Dakshina Kannada's, they are actually even Kudaho. These things actually we can change it. So the green color come under the low vulnerability climate change, yellow color come under the medium vulnerability climate change, high vulnerability climate change we indicated as a red color. For example, here Yadgiri, Raichuru, Bhopal, then Dharwad, where you are sitting there in the thing Chitradurga, in Chikkalapuru. So these are things Chamrajnagar, even there is some issues there. So this is a vulnerability index actually helping for the government how designing the policy under the climate change. Right? You understand, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you want to read further things, you can read the report, State Action Plan on Climate Change. Now, Madam actually she raised something about the finance. So somewhere actually the participant asked us about the climate change. Can you raise the question again, Madam?
Sir, climate change to GDP, how to link, sir?
Yeah, that is very good question actually. For GDP, actually, how are you estimating actually from the various sectors the contribution right now? Agriculture, industry, for fisheries, forestry. There is a lot of GVA calculation is there, gross value order from every sector. So you can take the GVA, okay, madam, as the independent variable. You see there, there is the climate change. A climate change variable is there. For example, the precipitation you can take, rainfall, drought you can take, or flood you can take. In the data is available Center for Science and Environment and Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And you can take actually common variable temperature. What I said, mean annual temperature or mean annual rainfall. So just you link with the various sectors. So how various sector affecting due to the, for example, 1% increase in the temperature, 1.5% increase, 1.5% negatively affected in the GDP. Because various sectors, the altogether aggregate GDP. There is a very excellent number of work is in there in the literature. Even the economic survey, they were mentioned in huge amount of things are there. There is a macroeconomic perspective. If you want to do this sectoral wise, for example, annual yield, the production by the various crops and vegetables, there is a data in the agricultural statistics. You can link with the temperature. Otherwise, you can link with the drought. You can link with the rainfall. So you will get to the always the increasing the temperature impact on the negative productions. So these are the things you can see. The just you Google it, you can get some more good ideas. These are the common framework. Any questions, madam? Any questions again? Okay. Now actually
Sir,
what we done some. Yeah.
sir, only studying one sector as okay, na, sir. All sector also studying in our PhD.
No, actually, all sectoral, if you want to do some, you have to do some general equilibrium analysis, madam. There is sectoral wise output, sectoral wise emission, we have to do the things. That is actually, there is a model, dynamic integrated economic modeling, regional integrated economic modeling. That is things. If you want a sectoral wise, you can do the sectoral wise analysis based on data availability in India.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Mm. So what we done recently for the flood damage in India, the panel data approach with we checked with the things data from the 19, I think data from the, yeah, I forgot to put the data actually, from 1990s to 2023. So we checked the data with both fixed effect and the random effect, both things. These are the variable we took. Just I took from the my paper. It is forthcoming in the some international journal. So total damages actually they calculated by the Ministry of the water commissions. We took as a log value for year wise. Then what are the independent variables? Means state domestic product for the per capita, net state domestic product, area affected in million hectare, population affected in million hectare, damage to the crop area million hectare, damage to crop in value or crores. So damage to houses, numbers and cattle and public utilities, and crop value, the house value, and the public utilities again. So these are the variables we took from the data at the national level. We run the result. You see there. Actually, for example, 1% increase in the
Sir, there is
temperature.
sir, damage to crop value is there. How you measure it, sir? Before.
Actually, the value given by the ministry, sir, already they given for the state wise.
Okay.
You can access the state-wise data actually. This is one of the paper actually. It is good paper. We hope actually going to accept some very top international journal. So this is actually macroeconomic perspective. You see there actually data given by the ministry. We are actually correlating which area is more considerable to the things. But more than when all the for example, agriculture, the field, or the household, or the health wise, everything is more considerable. Basic amenities is decreasing because we are developing the data now. The ministry now they are developing the data. Okay, one by one we are checking all the things. So these are the result is coming there actually. How increasing impact on the various level in the domestic product and per capita income on the forest affected area, population in the millions. So because of we know exactly how the climate change things are happening, impact on the various levels. So we need the good adaptation and mitigation strategies. So now I want to move the green accounting. What to be done actually? We are now actually only 2 to 3 minutes is there. No problem. I can take 5 minutes, right, sir?
Till 1:15 you can, sir.
Yeah. Okay, till 1:15. Acha. Oh, that's better actually. So climate change, any questions or any comments or any doubt? Any doubt in climate change? No.
No, sir. It's
Okay, madam. Okay, thank you. So now green
No, sir.
accounting
No,
and
sir.
GDP.
Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Shall I move now? Next step?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So actually green accounting, the concept, it is very important, sir. Now what we are working. For example, national income accounting or gross domestic product, how they are estimating the gross domestic product. So import, export, production, consumption minus depreciation of fixed capital. We know very well the concept, actually the formulas, because all the economic and the non-economic students also they know very well. So the problem is here how the GDP consider as a cost of positive externality, negative externality from the environmental point of view. So the Keynesian model which we are using now, or Richard Stone or things 1950s, the macroeconomic model for the national income accounting we are using. But the model is totally ignore the productive role of the natural resources in the context of national accounts. So these are actually things they have to integrate the value of natural resources or cost of climate change in the economy, which actually many countries nowadays they started, they call green accounting or green GDPs. So the current GDP is not well being. as you know very well, actually, the household works is not actually much considered. Leisure work is not much considered, as we know very well. What are the major criticism in the GDPs? So now actually I want to give one example. For example, cutting the forest areas, it is good for the furniture. It is good for the economic development, but there is a negative impact in the soil fertilities, the water pollutions, and agriculture production, all the things. So these are the negative external. There is a positive and negative externality. That's the reason actually how the environmental degradation should account in the natural, should account in the economic accounting. So that is actually highly criticism by the environmental economics. If they want to do something, natural resource account and national income accounting. So what green accounting as per this here, as we can read this, incorporation of natural resources under the environmental quality in the national income. So you can actually think, the quality of environmental, how, for example, air quality in Delhi. Every day we are seeing the newspaper, how they are suffering. Air quality in Delhi, how they are suffering. It is very difficult to, live the children's, the people, they are not able to attend the schools. The health problem is coming. So day by day, actually, they are facing number of issues due to the weather changes or the air pollutions, etc., etc. So the green accounting is provided the common framework for the capturing all the issues. So this is for the green accounting. So the formula we know very well, NDP is GDP minus depreciation of physical capital, only fixed capital. The green national income accounting, they talk about the depreciation of the natural capital. GDP, green GDP or green NDP is equal to GDP minus depreciation of fixed capital minus depreciation of natural capital. So these are the things we have to include, that is called for the green accounting. So green accounting or green GDP is one of the measurement indicator of sustainable development goals. Right. What is the conceptual
So
framework actually?
what's the DN, sir? Before DM? DM or
Depreciation of
DN?
DM is depreciation of fixed capital. DN means depreciation of natural capital. So currently we are actually incorporating depreciation of fixed capital only, the current GDP, right? So that's the reason the current GDP is not fulfilling as incorporating all the natural resources degradation. That's the reason actually the new concept they call green NDP or green GDP, depreciation of natural capital we have to include. So this is a conceptual background, pre-classical, neoclassical, institutional, logical. This is actually how man-made capital, human capital, and the social capital we are incorporating. So the natural capital actually is missing in the calculations of economic sector. So there is Robert Solow, John Hotwick, the argument of reproducing of natural capital. Bharat Dasgupta about the welfare and intergenerational sustainability. Then Kenneth Arrow, Bharat Dasgupta, they talk about the sustainability measurement, which actually one of the indicator. So what is sustainability measurement? Why, whether is economic growth going on sustainable path or not in our country? For example, you can test the Karnataka economic development going on sustainable path or not. So we have to include many indicators. So what is the weak sustainability? What is the strong sustainability? So there is a data also, genuine progress indicator. I mean, ISW actually integrated socioeconomic welfare index. There is a cross national happiness index. There are a number of alternative things for the GDP also. But I'm talking about the green accounting or green GDP is not an alternative of GDP. That is actually incremental of the GDP only. So type of green accounting, what type of green accounting is there? For example, natural resource accounting is there, ecosystem accounting is there, pollution accounting is there, monetary and hybrid accounting there, finally environmental adjusted macroeconomic aggregates. So what is actually the accounting perspective? Opening stock, I think commerce participant and commerce expert, they know very well. Opening stock and closing stock. For example, you can use the forest areas or use the minerals, use the energy resources. So there is a separate format methodology in the system of environmental economic accounting. Okay, for each sector you can take it, but we have to incorporate the data. Finally, we have to convert as a monetary value. So here, for example, addition to the stock, closing stock of the environmental asset. So we can take as a asset, stock and flow also. So for example, forest stock, forest flow, goods and services, like that actually. This is called for environmental economic accounting. So the natural, capital accounting here, for example, in forestry sector, what we done in the Karnataka, in my paper actually, maybe 2013 or 14, we published changes due to the economic activity, how much
So go for
happened.
before one, sir. Before one.
This is this one.
Sir, this is also what is the meaning of this one? The catastrophic losses, risk
Catastrophic
classification.
catastrophic losses means the climate related issues there, no? For example, in forest fire, how much happen, or disaster, how much happen, or storm, how much forest loss happen, forest damages. For example, California, now maybe some state actually in US, they were highly forest fire last 2 days. There is a catastrophic
Okay.
losses.
Yes,
So
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
losses,
Regarding reclassification. What?
reclassification means every year actually they are reclassifying the forest areas. Is they reclassify forest, for example, afforestation, reforestation, restoration of forestation. In the all the types, how much actually forest increasing or decreasing. That is the reclassifications. For example, in
Mhm.
India, actually, the map is applicable in most of the developed countries. They have the reclassification every year. They are reclassification based on their own forest type. So this is actually
Yes.
forest resource accounting. So this is ecosystem accounting, which we the recent things Ministry of no sorry, the system of environmental economic accounting actually they were highly talk about the ecosystem accounting. Also physical account and monetary account. That is a ecosystem extent account, ecosystem condition account, ecosystem services supply account. Finally, ecosystem services use the benefits economic units. So these are the thing in monetary accounts also. So there's a physical account and monetary account. Both you can take ecosystem services supply, use, and ecosystem monetary asset. So finally, we have to integrate the ecosystem accounting based on this is a classification. So we tested them in each product areas. For example, ecosystem extent, provisioning, regulatory, cultural, and then ecosystem services, water, soil regulations. Finally, we done something ecosystem monetary asset account based on our previous calculation. So what is the protected areas value in the particular year only? 23.9 million. This is a pollution account. For example, agriculture, how much actually carbon emission, forestry, how much emission, fishing emission, mining energy, total emission from these activities. So these are the things.
Sir,
So this is a waste.
fishing is making emissions, sir.
So fish product actually, for example, the boats or the ship actually they are emitting more carbon now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Fish
Okay.
doing the fish production actually that traditional fish capacity is not actually doing, and the modern technology is actually emitting the carbon during the. We can see there in the the Udupi and the Mangalore areas how people are using the diesel
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
waste actually current expenditure and capital expenditure. There is a separate actually methodological framework in this year for every accounting systems. So yeah, this is in Indonesia. They done something about the natural capital loss of and the GDP. Normally 20% lower than the GDP, but it will increase over the period. For example, environmental domestic product only grow annually rate of 4%. So in the year actually 19 maybe 90s, they were calculated the loss of natural capital actually depreciation how impact on the GDP in Indonesia. Okay. So Indian green GDP is then we started 2013, developed the methodology for the sectoral wise. There is 9 studies there: Karnataka, West Bengal, Arunachal Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, everything, data sources. So these are the things actually we done something. So now I'm stopping. You can actually raise the questions now.
Sir, go for the second slide, sir. The green accounting, second slides. Next, sir. Next one. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Next one. No, green accounting, sir. Green accounting. There is one data missing. This one. Next. Next, next. Oh, I miss it. Okay.
I don't know which data you are talking.
No, before I take as a this one, I miss it.
This one, I think.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. No, don't worry. We will be looking for it. So can you give some topic regarding the how green accounting will be taken to consider some minor projects, or if you take the how on what way we're going to concentrate? Hello? Hello, sir?
Sir, maybe network issue ಇರ್ಬೋದು.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right now it's here. No, once again breakdown, sir. Once again breakdown.
You can hear me now, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, now still we are not receiving the internet connection because we managed with my mobile actually. It's better actually. Yes, sir. Please, yeah. You have some questions right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you give some suggestion regarding the some small projects, green accounting?
The green account small project means actually you can do whatever you want. The forestry sector, there is a fishery sector, there is energy sector, there is a water sector actually. Because of each and every indicator, there is a separate methodology. For example,
Yes.
if you Google their system of environmental economics accounting, and there is a for water is a physical account and monetary account, forest is a physical account, monetary account, energy is a physical account, monetary account. You can take whatever you want, sir. That is one of the updated things is there. In 2024, there is a ecosystem accounting also. So you can take whatever you want. As I earlier mentioned, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation also, they are sharing some data. In the sectoral wise data is there. You can use that data for physical account and monetary account. You can use something. You can do some kind of project. Especially what they suggested, water resources accounting. It's very important nowadays. Which is actually how much rain we fall we are getting. For example, whenever the rainfall is coming, how much rain is actually we are saving. And that kind of data is also somewhere maybe 1 or 2 years they given in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Otherwise, we all take some data from the state government. You can run something or you can develop something, But finally, you have to do something with the state domestic product or national domestic product, or cross state domestic product or cross national domestic product. That things will actually give more value. Otherwise, constructing the green national income accounting alone is not working. How much actually
Yes, sir.
missing value actually you should integrate with the national level, or whether the positive externality or negative externality. You can take whatever the things is there. Sector wise data is available, maybe 1 or 2 year you can run. But forestry, why people are using, there is a forest data is available. Forest survey of India is available. Waste, solid waste accounting you can do. So there is a good data is it is available. You can take. Any
Yes,
other
sir. Yes,
questions,
sir.
sir?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
Sir, can you please share your mail ID? Because I have 2 to 3 questions. So I will
Okay.
write you mail, sir.
Yeah, madam. I will in chat box actually. I will.
Yes, sir. In
Number.
chat box, please share, sir.
Yeah, I will typing the chat box now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hi. Yes, I mail. Yes, sir. Yes, Manjunath, sir. Yeah. Yes, please carry on. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir,
Yeah, I can hear you.
sustainable development goal and environmental related goals. Research topics.
Research topic is actually no, the 17 goals are there. More than 10 goals actually highly directly, indirectly related to the environment. For example, climate action, zero hunger, poverty, or sustainable consumption and production. You can take actually, for example, forest ecosystem services, how reducing the poverty. So forest ecosystem services, how reducing the hunger, or sustainable consumption, or the climate action. You can do actually, you can link with the sustainable development goals, right? That's the reason actually we done something on sustainable development goal and environment related things. So as I said, actually 10 actually goals directly, indirectly related to the environment, right?
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Sir,
Any other question?
PPT we will provide, sir.
Sorry.
PPT, sir. PPT.
Yeah, if you want, I will send you. I will share with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, we will need for that. Please share it, sir.
Okay. Yeah, sir. Absolutely. I will share with you the.
And one more thing is, sir, if you have some the research articles with respect to the climate changes and green accounting, please share it, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, well, I will share with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Any more questions? How you feel, sir? Is, something is helpful to you?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. It's a green accounting, climate changes, and all those things is a very new topic,
Yeah.
especially for environmental accounting. All those is
Yeah.
very nice, sir.
Ah,
We
I
will
want
looking
to.
for the different perspectives, sir. Actually.
Sir,
Okay. Yeah.
it's
That's
a
good.
useful session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your highly appreciation. We can continue sometimes. Into next things. Isaac also we are conducting something. You can come and participate in. Yaror
Yes,
also
sir.
we are doing. We
Yes, sir.
can participate
Definitely.
something.
Definitely, sir.
Yes,
We will
yes,
Definitely,
come
yes.
sir.
to the
Definitely.
second personally, sir. Personally.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks for your